That one's clanking. Clanking. Wood stove. Live chat. There we go. All right. All right, we'll get this going. I've got some reported a little bit on what I saw yesterday on the news with Mr. Drumpf, Mr. Warp Speed, going down with Mr. Old Biden down to the border there. And recently seeing here that they issued a warning. So, gotta come on here, back on for a little bit. And see if anybody else has seen this clown world that we're living in here. What hypocrisy that is, isn't it? So let's push that down a little bit there. All right, that worked. That's better. So Trump issues a warning about people coming across the border. Yesterday on the live stream, I talked that him and Mr. Old Biden were down there. So, kind of a I don't know. You can't get any more hypocritical than that, right? So you're going to build a wall and then don't build it and then be down there talking about your failure. That's what already brought that up. I can't get any more. Can't bring up hypocrisy any more clearer for you than that, right? The greatest wall ever, and then talking about a problem that he didn't fix. I'm going to build the greatest wall ever. Instead, you got the jab. So, I don't know. Just one more little hypocrisy here that just don't understand how people do not see the Janus, the Two-Face, so how's that? How come there were people down there protesting that dude? Hey, why are you down here? You didn't even build that greatest wall ever. Instead, you brought us the greatest jab ever. So, I just think it's great. What a clown show that we live in here. What a clown show. So, I'd come back on here for a little bit, talk about it, see if anybody else is seeing this hypocrisy going on. Mr. Warp Speed. Greatest jabba dabba dooski. Yeah. Oh, you're going to get banned. If Yaya was here, he'd ban you, Ross. You can't say yapper in here, remember? So, no, I got a thing for Trump. I know evil when I see it. I know evil. He's mocking my love. He's mocking Shiloh. So, I'm going to point him out. So, you got a fast car? You got a plan to get us out of here? Good stuff. Thank you for coming in, Brother Ross. Thank you so much. I just, I mentioned he was down at the border yesterday. Both these pretendants are down there. One's an Eagle Pass. Can't remember where the other one was at, but now he issues a warning about warriors or something. I couldn't even read the whole article. It was quite, just gets so. If he would have already been saying that, if he would have built the wall, we wouldn't be having this discussion. And the man has the cojones to go down there and go to that same wall that he never built. And call it out. That's crazy. That is oh, Father, please end this soon. Let all the rest of these Johnson tittles, because this is just hypocrisy at its finest there, But remember, it's not about that. It's about the millimeter wall. So I won't lose my mind. I know what kind of wall he's going to put up. So you won't see that wall. I won't say you'll see, because you won't see it. Remember, it's millimeter wave. So it's a bowl, it's a dome, a millimeter dome, a millimeter Operation Warp Speed Trump dome. How about that? So he goes to the border and issues a warning. I read an article that four, they call them newcomers now. This is the new term for them, newcomers, right? Or migrants, or remember I said they're aliens, illegal aliens. When I grew up, that's what they called them. They're still people no matter what, but let's remember they're human beings. Utmost important, they are human beings. So, but a family of 4 in New York can qualify for up to $20,000 a month. They can get $20,000 a month. That's what I said the whole time, Ross, when he was saying he was going to build that greatest wall ever, put Billary in prison and audit the Fed, and the economy was in a bubble. I was saying, yeah, he's going to build a wall and lock us in here. And then he did during the greatest Jabadooski operation. Get your sticker, play Pokemon. How else can I put it to you? The beer bug, the corona, the declaring of their king that's coming when my king Shiloh comes back with the keys to give it to the angel and unlock their antichrist that they're revealing and foreshadowing the coming of the destruction of Babylon. As I told you, the sign of Jonah that will be left on April 8th of this year. The sign of Nineveh, the sign of Jonah, another sign. I give you another sign that they know. The sign of Nineveh, they wouldn't mark it they wouldn't foreshadow the Nineveh after the Jonah sign. Now there's 2 Jonah signs that you've been given by myself. They're his words, they're not my own, but they are signs that declare the coming of the destruction of this new mystery Babylon, this modern day whore called America, that Mr. Trump so failed to build that greatest wall ever. And so, yeah, even before it was Mr. O Vomit. Remember, he was letting people in by, the train loads too. So this problem isn't new. This is an old problem, but people have the attention span of a fly or a TikTok or, whatever, one swipe away, about 30 seconds, and they turn ghost on you. I don't believe in ghosts, but, you can see right through them. It's like talking to a wall or something at that point. So anyways, quite obvious hypocrisy at its finest. Got to point it out. Got to point out the clown show, the guy, the orange face clown show. So down there at the wall he never built. That's crazy. I just can't get over that, guys. 20,000. They got these migrants up in Washington and the state above me banging down with an insurrection. Speaking of honey traps, remember, go to the crap hole building. Remember Mr. J6? Remember that whole honey trap? Now we got migrants storming the Capitol building in Seattle, I believe, up there, and demanding their hotel rooms aren't good enough. They want housing and condos and apartments, and they want real houses. These hotel rooms aren't cutting it. They need real houses. So a two-tier society, guys, is being created right before your eyes. It's all happening very, very fast. I hope you pay attention to what's going on here. This is getting away from a lot of you a lot quicker. A lot of it's in the cities you live in, and you're around a lot of these people. So not everybody's bad, but not everybody's good. So they've actually pumped enough people into this country over the last 15 years. This clown show since Mr. O Vomit, about 40 to 50 million is my guesstimate we'll call it a guesstimate, but just do a small number nefarious. And remember, I told you most of them are. And that's right. I ain't trying to get in the way of none of that. None of it. So we need to be ready. That's why I'm trying to sound both sides there, Ross. That not everybody's good, but not everybody's bad, right? Probably the majority of people aren't, but there's a lot of them that are getting entitled, and we have children dying in the streets and dying in homes, and they're not even, they're citizens of this country, and now we're taking care of people don't even have citizenship. And I'm not turning my back, people. I told you to be meek, to be caring, to be kind, these other part of agape. But yeah, I know. But what I'm talking about is not everybody who comes across this border, Ross, is nefarious. There's good, human people that just trying to come here and escape all the crap we've done in their countries by causing massive upheaval financially and extorting them for the resources. So this is I'm still pointing out the facts. You can't change the fact that I pay attention to these, and unfortunately the devil's in the details. So that's all I'm doing is pointing out the tea kettle being black. So we caused most of these people to come here, and I applaud most people for getting off their tail and doing something about causing massive upheaval we have, and they come here. It's kind of quite confusing why they come to the country that caused them the upheaval, but they know this is supposed to be the best of the best. So I understand it. What I'm trying to bring up is there's two sides, to every coin. And so remember that they have actually pumped enough people in here. I told you, I think most of them have assimilated just fine over the last 15 years. Many people came here immediately and had work. Remember those illegal aliens, the one I was talking about. But there's something definitely different going on. They're pumping an agenda here. So be ready, be on guard, but have your spiritual house. Do what the Most High would tell you to do. So you have the right to protect your house, as I talked with Brother Jim. But I still want you to have some humanity and remember that we caused a lot of this, and this judgment that's coming to this country. I feel like we deserve everything that's coming. As a military veteran, as somebody who served this beast military industrial complex that way long ago that Eisenhower warned us about, that's fed by this corporation. Hey, cut it out, boys. Lay down, Tuggy. Sorry, got the puppy here. Puppy's hanging out with the dad. He's trying to be on the live stream. I love you too, big guy. I love you, guy. All right. Sorry, he's stealing the show. So, but anyways, I still want people to be, oh, thanks. That was nice. Oh, boy, did you hear that? Sneeze everywhere. So, please try to remember that. It's a setup no matter what. We are in the devil's playground. The destruction, of all evil will be taken from this earth eventually. So I don't doubt what the Most High is doing, and I'm not trying to change a jot or a tittle. But this is happening, and I believe this will affect many, 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 many Americans. Start with your water filter. Start with water filtration is really important. Try to have more than one way to do it, but obviously I've shown, there's got the Sawyer, the Life Straw. Be mobile too, guys. Be ready, and that's kind of crazy. Again, they're starting to demand that these. I think they're going to make people start housing these people, guys. I mean, this is moving very fast. This is moving very, very fast in this country. They're going to force things upon this nation that, again, I feel like we almost deserve it. So, either way, just be on. Yeah, there you go. Batteries tap, beautiful. I have some of those in my bug out bag too. I call them chingaderas or whatever. That's what. There you go. You can put whatever you want. All those things. 550 cord is really important. Have some of that 550 cord. It's super important to have that. You can use it for so many different carabiners are really nice to have, the real climbing ones, not the fake ones. Those are super valuable for survival. A saw, one of those folding tree saws, and get a good one. There's some good ones out there. Get one of those. Those are definitely something you want in your bug out bag. The folding tree saw. Um, a folding shovel. They make some really nice ones now. I see those ones on TV that they can like cut the bricks and the rocks with. There's some really nice ones. I'm a vet, so we have the trench shovels. What I have in my bug out bag is, or my go bag, right? So, got to live at your bug out, guys. I live at my bug out, but if you got to go, if you can't stay and you got to bug in and then you got to go, your go bag, have meds in there, have some kind of antibiotic. Obviously a nice first aid kit's very important to have, extremely important. Your multiple pair of socks. Socks are very important. You take your feet out, you can't move. I'm a vet, I know that. You take a man's feet out and he's done on the battlefield. Okay. Protect your feet. So that new skin type stuff, stuff that you can put over your blisters, that you can cover it with, that gauze, some of that stuff, you can. My feet never did that in the military, but a lot of guys did. And if you get a blister, that's hard to walk. It slows you down a lot. And then if it starts getting pussing and then infection, trench foot, you're out. Soldier, man down. You ain't gonna hobble around, drag one foot. So, or you're gonna be real slow, and then you're gonna get eaten up by the wolves that come up and pick up that low hanging fruit there. So, that's really important, if you know what I'm talking about. That it looks like Band-Aid type material. That's really important. Please, your feet. So multiple socks, multiple socks, and maybe a little bit of and not a lot, but maybe the kind of detergent that you like a little bit. I can't afford really expensive boots or anything like that. So what I would look to is anything for survival that I lead you to, and would probably be, the channel would be Canadian Prepper. If he carries it, he wears it, he reps it, and he carries it in his warehouse. He only carries the top stuff. It is more expensive than a lot of the things that's out there on the market that he carries, but he doesn't carry anything that's not been through a lot. So I would look maybe to him, for finding. I have a couple pair of Sorels. I'm hard on shoes, man. My shoes, I don't care what shoes I have, about 2 or 3 years, a pair of boots for me, or they're done. I don't care what kind of boots, but I have a couple pair of Sorels because the last person that I was with said, hey, you don't ever do anything. We were at the Goodwill, and those Sorels were probably $100, maybe more or something, and they were like $30 or something, and I bought 2 pair. So I like something with a rubber sole. I would suggest not doing that steel toe. It's good for some things, but that gets cold, that can actually smash sometimes it's nice, but good question though. Good footwear. I wish I had a better recommendation, but I can't spend some of the money I think that you could on a good boot that would be worth your money, because you get what you paid for. I found out in a lot of times these days. I'm not saying you have to have the Nike swoosh, I'm not saying you have to have the name brand, but like a good steel saw, or good John Deere, or or something like that, it's gonna last. There's a reason why you pay the price you pay for a steel saw, and they're all the same price at the store. They generally don't need to run a sale because they're all, again. So good question, man, Josh. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I would try to find something that's definitely waterproof. You want to be able to put your foot in water. You don't want your feet to get wet. Remember, in boots, do not buy boots. Cool. Okay, there we go, Ross. Yeah. They have plastic and composite steel toe. There we go. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, is why, guys, is your foot, thank you, Ross, I didn't say it, your foot gets cold. Guys, we're going into a solar minimum. It's going to get colder and colder and colder on this earth. They just talked about, I don't know if you know anything about the Beaufort Gyre event. Yeah, that's what I get, is a good leather boot. I would really look at a good solid stitch. There, like I said, look out there. There's some good ones, but like what Ross said, there's a steel toe that's not actual steel, because the reason why I want to shy away from that, what I was saying, is it can smash your feet. Also that thing can, even though it does, that can take your toes out too. So it's not like it's 100% foolproof, and sometimes it just ends up severing your toes right off because of that lip. But the cold is why I don't want your feet, the tips, that circulation is very important. And a lot of times a guy will get a steel toe boot and he'll get problems and get hypothermia in your feet, especially in those tips with that steel toe. Beautiful, Ross. Beautiful. Excellent. That's where I was going with that. But they do make something to it is the day we live in, the age of where we have all these different, polycarbonate resins and compounds and stuff. So, man, maybe if it was made of hemp or something, but anyways, that'd be super strong. But look into that, and remember, sizing is really important on shoes. You don't want to buy a boot small ever. You want to have a little bit of room, not enough to slosh around in there, but if you had to put an extra pair of socks, and then you need that little bit of space for your feet to have room to breathe. If not, your feet will get cold when your feet get smashed down in a boot. So I don't care if you like your tennis shoes kind of tight or, you prefer, but when it comes to survival, you definitely want a shoe that's got just a little bit of room there. Don't buy small shoes ever. Again, you want it a little bit bigger in boots. Okay. Again, you can put on a thicker wool sock, and then it's not going to be tight. So think about that. When you're sizing a boot, find a right, nice, big, thick wool sock, and then buy your boot with that size to fit that size, so you have some room, so your feet can breathe. Because when your feet can't circulate, and that especially if it gets cold with a steel toe, man, you're gonna struggle. And there we go, man down. When your feet, I lived in Alaska. I've been in extreme Arctic training. I've done military mountaineer training. I stayed outside. It never got any warmer than -42 below zero, Delta, Alaska, on the Bolio Range. And yeah, so I know I've been put to the test as far as extreme cold weather, and that's where we're headed. That's where this Earth is headed. It's a cold, rocky planet, and we have these brief moments of warming. And so if you know anything about this, about a Beaufort Gyre event, these are Heimlich events that happen on a 6,000-year cycle. Where our Earth's oceans, the AMOC, the Atlantic multi-oscillation, overturning circulation of our currents in our oceans, where it dips down up in the North Atlantic, back down in, slopes down in, and goes back down and circulates. It's like a big belt. I'm not sure if you guys understand or know what the AMOC is. It's the overturning, the circulation of the mid-Atlantic. So it generally, once it gets up towards like Greenland and up towards the northern areas, it slumps down and drops down into the ocean. And if that doesn't happen because it gets too warm up to the north, what it does is it pushes all that warm water up and it starts cooling. I've already talked to people I think I've already mentioned this on the TikTok platform when I was on that channel, that it starts melting those ice caps from underneath, not the tops. And then all that water changes the circulation, and telling you guys, this is what causes us to snap right into a cold, ice age. And it happens, and we're there. I told you, these cycles, some of these things I keep telling you and blowing the same horn about I'm not a guesser. I don't guess. I pay attention to history, cycles, the sun, the moon, all these celestial bodies, markers, the dirt, all the strata layer of it, all this mid-Atlantic, the magnetics, the electricity, all these things are important to me because they're all intertwined. They all have everything to do. Well, to me, have everything to do with everything. I told you this is how I put things together. So I didn't ask for this life. I didn't ask for this brain. He chose me to be here, and he chose his whatever will to do with me what he is. So I want to continue to tell you that they're here, and they've kind of already just announced that. If you look, we had that massive warming up in um, Canada this year. It didn't get really cold until late in the year. There's a good chance that this overturning will happen or will not happen, and that slump will not go down into the Atlantic, and all that warmer water will go up into that northern portion of our oceans and start changing the currents. And this is what again takes us into an ice age, or a grand solar minimum. What would be a good pack to carry right now? I have Molly Whip assault bag. Good suggestion. You know what I have, Josh? I just have my old military rucksack from when I was in the military. So mine's old. What I have is from the 90s. I have a rucksack, so I just don't have the money for stuff like that. Josh, appreciate it, because they're excellent questions, and there's some really good stuff out there too when it comes to the things like you're talking about, because that rack that you carry now is not, it used to be aluminum, and now they've got all these different composites, the way it sits on your back, how it's, that's all been worked. Gosh, I'm old, and I served when they didn't really care. You were just a piece of government issued property falling under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. You were just a piece of government property. I guess that's a better way to put it. And they didn't really. So since then, I really haven't had, the ability to. I spent all my money on other people and other things, and I have rucksacks for other people and stuff too, but they're basic ones. But another excellent question. Thank you, Josh, because there is. That's really important with that question on where it sits on your back, guys, how that is sitting on your back, and the straps and how they fasten and how it comes across your chest. And that's all excellent. Having good questions, Josh, good questions, because there are things out there, again, that they've made massive improvements upon. I think, again, a Canadian prepper would be another good one on this one. I'd look into what he's carrying, because I'm sure he's got this same pack, breathable, it has to be it has to be able to get wet. There's certain things when you're a veteran and that you have to work around, that we had to work around back then. But now they've, lined packs that they're like these wet bags, basically. They're like a wet bag, so you can go underwater with them, basically. I mean, it's incredible, the advancements in technology that we have. So and again, just try to remember the coolest thing about some of this technology, and again, I think they haven't always compromised the quality, because I would never substitute quality on anything. I'd take something that was even a little bit heavier, even if I knew it would last longer than to come apart. But man, they've got some of this lightest material, so always just try to remember, you don't want to put too much in your bag. And that's my problem, is I'm still thinking, I bet you my sack right now weighs 110 pounds, sack and all. But that's what I carried in the military. As a military police, we humped more than anybody else. We just had to do it. We didn't meet the standard. We set the standard. We had a higher spit shine boot, or, we could brush our teeth in our boots. We set the standard. We had higher creased in garrison duty, higher creased pants and that, and standing tall. And again, it's about uniformity and having the most, I don't know, whatever. It's disgustingly filthy. It's rising above everybody else, because that's what's the motto of the MP. Don't meet the standard, set the standard, raise the standard. So just a different mentality than most MOSs. And so but again, quality is important on that question, and I would definitely don't overdo it. I probably have way too much in my bag right now. Probably weighs 110 pounds. Whatever, I'd do it. man, I'd do it. Whatever. I'm a soldier still. I know, even with my bad back to this day, I swear I could still hump 20 miles with that sack on there. But I used to do that once a week. So why couldn't? Well, it's been a long time. That's been decades ago. What am I talking about? But anyways, try to remember to streamline your pack. So I would try to find the lightest pack possible that's water resistant at this point. Because water resistant would probably give you some thermability, some R factor as well. I think in the cold too would probably have a huge effect on how that pack would perform in the cold too. But another excellent question too. Try to remember that when you're structuring your bag, try to really, because you could just put way too much in there, guys. You know what I'm saying? And that's good. I mean, it's better to have, but in some cases when we're talking about trying to be, because you got the idea, you're asking the right questions about a bag, that means you're on the go. You don't want that bag to slow you down. You don't want, just a couple pounds can make a big difference on a 20-mile, ruck or a march or, a hump or whatever you want to, there are a lot of different names for it back then, but, when you're on foot and something slows you down, that's not when you want to be, going in your bag and tossing and leaving, evidence, little kibbles of where you've been things behind, because you just can't carry it. But you got to keep up that pace. So you're leaving bread crumb trails, or you're going to slow down, and then you're not going to, you're going to become low hanging fruit at that point. So appreciate these good questions, guys, because again, I really think this is important for me. The reason why I'm hitting on this so hard, because I don't want to part none of this, man. Eventually, I may just take my sack to the woods too and go and say bye. Bye world. I'm done with you. You guys all want to fight each other and have a revolution, red team, blue team, and I don't want to fight with nobody. I'd rather fight lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, woo! Fight the woods off, and eventually they'll get into the woods too with what's coming. But prolong the agony, if you will. But well, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see what's coming. I think that all these things that are coming are survivable until God brings the fire and rids all the evil from this earth, and then we're all going to face that seventh seal. But until that time, we do need to be a soldier of God. And to me, with what is coming and what I see coming, I just don't want to fight anybody. I honestly think if my son wasn't in this country, I'd leave right now. I would leave right now. I think this would be the time that I would say, you know what? I just think there's a better place to be than America. This place is set for judgment. I've showed you over and over again, the Jonah sign twice, the hail. There's no way to escape judgment, guys. But I just don't want to be around people who are fighting, and people do not like America. I do know that outside the walls of America, America's the bad guy, and it'll go down in history. But within the confines of this undivided states, everybody in this country says that we're the good guys. So it's hypocrisy at its finest. But I know too many people from outside these walls, and 98% of them agree that we are the bad guy. And it makes sense. We've gone around and run roughshod with our greatest military ever, and all this perversion of the dollar and demanding payment for it is money changers type stuff. So I know Christ doesn't like that. That's where he got all Olivia Newton-John and, let's get physical on you, and he wasn't like that until, I can't, because I'm 10-month-old son and want to have a place to protect you. Good stuff. Me too, Josh. I was a single dad for, 10 years almost. So, yeah, I know what it's like to want to protect. I just told you, I don't want to leave the country. My son's 25 years old and I don't want to leave, but I can. And I already told him, as far as spiritual, you're on your own, dude. There's the way to the Father. Boom. It's between you and him now. I'm out of this. Check out. Woo. Finally, but you got a long way to go. So I understand. You got 17 years and you won't stop being a father. Look, here I'm staying in the States because I just don't want to leave my son here. I'm not even concerned about myself. I want to be able to do the same thing when that day comes. And I've been discussing with them a lot, Josh, about getting prepared for what's coming. This is here. This isn't something that Good for you. Bless you, sir. Because then you won't, then it's crossed your mind. See, this is what I talk to people about. You know, people have ragged and tagged on people like me. The CIA's put a term on people like myself, conspiracy theorists. You know, that's their coin term to get people to look away. You know, the cry wolf or whatever, tinfoil hat, you know, wearing all these different labels they put on me. But remember, anybody who's a conspiracy theorist or that term has had a little bit of level of fear, like you're talking about. I sense a tiny bit of fear in you there, Josh. But now I sense that you've done something about it and you're starting to ease that fear, and it's starting to feel a little better each time you do something about it. And that fear is starting to subside more and more. And it feels secure knowing that there's some kind of plan. So fear gets you up off your fourth point of contact, your rear end, and makes you do something, and you ease the fear. So most of these conspiracy theorists or preppers or tinfoil, they are probably the most prepared people on the earth right now. And they got multiple plans, not just an A, a B, a C, a D, an E. They plan for many things. They've had many fears and they eased them. So bless you, Josh, for listening to that fear. And it sounds like you're doing something about it. It sounds like you don't live in fear, but it sounds like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to make sure this, I can't get out of the way of something I don't see coming. So I'm going to look ahead. It's called game theory. What if? There's nothing wrong with asking, what if? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this? And so obviously, oh, wow, that's a little, woo, I'm going to do something about that. See, guys? So nothing wrong with being a prepper. It's a lifestyle. You just do it to ease your fears. And it's like having good car insurance. And so what if you bump into somebody? You got a plan, you know? Heck, you just got liability. At least you got them covered. You might suffer, but you know the person you ran into, you might have hurt them, but they're not going to suffer. They'll get the help they need. You know, you got the full coverage, then I don't bump into anybody bumping. I got the armor. I got the full, you know. So what I would tell you, the best thing I can tell you, Josh, is get away from the cities. Get away from the best advice I can give you is form a community away from people. And if you can't do that, then form a community where you're at and to get like-minded people, which is very hard to find. I know not too many people are in this mindset. There's a lot less, you know, there's more coming into this, you know, understanding that things are transitioning. Things are, you know, hey, 5% interest. Wait a minute. That box of, you know, cereal is 3 times as much. That's, you know, more than 100% inflation. That's called hyperinflation. None of the stuff that they're telling us is, you know, is real, that, you know, the dollar is money and all that. It's all a bunch of hocus pocus. And as they fill their coffers full of food and seeds and have seed vaults and make fun of people like that in the, you know, in this day and age. But remember, it wasn't a generation ago that, you know, our grandparents had, you know, cellars, you know, pantries full of food, pantries of food that they can, you know, that was the norm, you know, deep freezers, people traded halves, and, you know, it was just kind of the lifestyle. It was just the norm. It wasn't until we were all subdivided, you know, stack and pack, putting these subdivisions, subdivided, that the convenience of the grocery store came about, and, you know, that changed everything. So nothing sells better than convenience, but that is second to number one to the insinuation of sex. And that is not, it doesn't even, it's just the implication of, but that gets people up off their tail to buy, and convenience sure does too. And in America, you know, come on, drive through, Starbucks, all that, everything's microwave, 90 seconds. You got a 3-day, you know, process of microwave burrito in 90 seconds in your hot little hands there. Look at that. Woo! JG Wentworth generation. It's my money, and I want it now. Operation Warp Speed generation. It's my booster, and give it to me again and again and again and again and again. Boy, those poor Aussies, man. Wow. Yeah, Mr. Warp Speed. I think the best piece of equipment so far is the radio. My truck has upgraded suspension for curved off-road, and it is also an EMP protection. Excellent. Good stuff. You're on the right track, Josh. I think you understand what's coming, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. Stay on that. That's a very important. You got to be able to continue to move electronically. Good. A vehicle. I wish the Most High would just let me get a vehicle, because man, and that's probably good that I don't, because I'll stay here until I'd probably bounce if I had a good 4-wheel drive vehicle right now. I really would. Uh, Radio is really important. I'm not sure if you have ham radios. I believe a lot of this atmosphere is gonna be hashed. We've already had 5. We shattered the low latitude auroral event in 2023 last year. So something's obviously going on with the upper atmosphere. I told you what it is if you followed me. And so communications might get kind of tough, but having this alternative forms, notice all these senators got those satellite phones last year. Remember that? Don't forget, right? All those senators or whatever, governors, senators, they got those satellite phones. So if you can get your hands on something like that, a ham radio is going to be extremely valuable. Even if you don't get on it and you can just hear what's going on, just hearing other people, another voice will be epic. I know I live alone. I don't get to hear people's voices very often. Nobody calls me. I don't get very much human contact. I've been very isolated. The Most High has isolated me almost in a way that almost better to be I'd get way more contact in a prison than I would in this lifestyle that he has me live here. So, but either way, hearing just another voice. So communication, yes, an excellent part of your bug out, guys. You don't even need on the ham radios. They've got those Bofang. They're like 30 or 40 bucks for a ham radio right now, guys. Maybe 50 bucks at the most for that Bofang. And it's a ham. Don't get on there and operate that thing without a license at this point. But later on, this will be a way to just hear people. Well, that will be extremely valuable, just to hear another person's voice, knowing there's other people out there. You can probably at that point get on there and talk on it, okay, at that point. When that happens, yeah, he's going to care about your ham radio operator's license. But communication, another beautiful preparedness. Man, this turned out to be an awesome live here, because I always love doing preparedness and being prepared, because it's just wise. And then that way you can, have security and have some comfort, and you might not survive, but man, you'll know you died trying. It won't be for lack of effort too. So it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. Now, don't overdo it with your bug out bag, but your go bag, but sometimes less is more on that case. But failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So if you just want to fall on your face, just don't do nothing about it. You'll be fine. You'll fall right on your face. Trust you me. You want to do something efficiently, you need to have already been doing it and practicing it over and over and over and over and over and over to become efficient at something. You can make it habitual if you do it, enough. You can be bitching about it, Willie, and later, where you could be doing it in your sleep like a soldier and not even be thinking about what you're doing. Blindfolded in your sleep, you could do it. So yeah, you can go from that side to the other side by, practice is what makes you better. Pushing yourself, your limits is what makes you competition and whatnot. Not like that, like trying to compete against others, but maybe against yourself. Not in a rushed manner, but not being settled, if that makes sense. I don't know. Winners know when to quit, but I was raised joined the military as a juvenile. And from a teenager, I was taught winners never quit. And that's not right. That's not true. That's a fallacy. Winners know when to quit. Like, was it Kenny Rogers said, you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. Okay, but tell us about the side of that. It's also rapture is coming. There's no such thing as rapture. So, that's not written anywhere in Scripture, but I know what you're talking about, but there's no getting out of here early. There's no escaping judgment. I know. Yeah, you can teach an old dog new tricks. I don't agree with the word rapture, but I know there's a harposa and a calling up, God-fearing human. But the word rapture is never written in Scripture. What's up, you Pharisee? He keeps coming back. I got to call the tea kettle black there. So, but Remember, he says you'll be changed to the twinkling of an eye at the last trump. He puts one foot on the land and one foot on the sea and says time is no more. There's no escaping judgment. There's no getting out of here. There's no such thing as a rapture. That's not written. It's not biblical. The word rapture is not written anywhere, not even one time in Scripture. So please get that out of your vocabulary. That's a teaching that's very similar to the other Jesus and the other gospel. There is no escaping judgment. There will be a calling up of his elect. Harpos, he is the snare that lifts us out of here. No, we will all, that we live in that time now. I don't think we're going to see the election, Josh, and people have been saying that. If you follow me, I've been talking about this 10-24-24 celestial gas giant alignment that we were in at the time of Christ when it crushed this earth. Pompeii was covered in ashes. Betasuba went off. This earth was in a semi-extinction level event during that time. I encourage you to look up the year 79 AD. This year, 10-24-24, we will be in that same gas giant alignment. It may happen, but I do not see how, because I believe that weather will dominate this earth before that time. I believe we'll see the shift in tides starting in the first part of October, maybe mid-month. There will be a tidal shift. It says the heaven and earth will be shaken, okay? And it says that the seas and the waves will be roaring. I've been studying this for 30 years. Maybe you've just stumbled into the channel, but this is what I do. This is why he has me here on this earth. I serve no other purpose to serve him as his vessel and to send out the message of this. Obviously, they know that nobody knows the day or the hour. That's what the word of God tells us, not the angels in heaven, not the Son. But remember, the Apostle Paul told us that you will see the day approaching. Only the Father in heaven knows that day, okay? But he sent his messengers, and I've pointed out, and I'm not sure if you followed my last live stream, this Aleph symbol, this judgment symbol, this reset starting in year zero when the heavens declare the passing of the ages. Not men. I don't listen to men. I listen to what the celestial markers are left by the heavens. They declare the passing of an age, like when Christ was born. When he was born, we passed out of an age. That's that important to me, is I have this all tattooed all the way down my arm. I am his messenger when it comes to this. There's nobody that's declared the coming of the King, I believe, as loud as I have on this earth, and I don't want any glory for it. I give all glory to the Father. He uses me as his vessel. I'm a soldier of God. I used to be a United States Army tyrant veteran that served this beast system. Now I serve him. He is my master. He is my commander. He commands me to do this. He demands that I declare this message. Whoa, if I do not, he tells me this gospel that I teach about this other Jesus, this other gospel, he himself warned that many will come in my name saying they're Christ. So I do his work. I fight his battles. I carry the cross for him daily. And I teach that. And I teach that on this channel. And I'm not religious. I'm not a Christian. I don't claim any religion. Actually, all religions I found are inherently evil, and 98% of them are pagan. I don't carry the label. I can prove it to you. Stay with me. Follow this word, follow this channel, follow Predestined for Light, and you'll see that he only chose just a small number of people. He's sending most people to hell. Very soon, this place will be burnt with fire, as it says, the promise of the rainbow. Let's stop, Lot, get your wife. I'm seeing enough of this hokey pokey, turn yourself around. That's what it's on. Get your wife, get out. He sent his messenger. He sent his angel to give him that revelation. Give Lot that, obviously, that message of the coming of the destruction of Babylon. And I come with that same message, the sign of Jonah. I've given it to you twice. Now, I started with the sign of Jonah in the belly of the whale, 3 days with the pumping of the ocean hitting the top of our stratosphere, bringing the sign of the plagues of Revelation with the 149-pound, 14-ounce hailstone, the evil and adulterous generation that would look for a sign. The only sign they'd be given is the sign of Jonah. Like he, 3 days in the tomb, rose like 3 days in the belly of the whale. He was spit up out on the land to come with the destruction that happened in 40 days. Hallelujah. I am this messenger that has declared this message through him. I put this out on the internet so that you can see it's plain as day. They declared Honga Tonga extinct February 12th, 2022. dead, dormant. It will never go off again. 3 days later, it rose out of the ocean, pumping 146 gigarams, 14% moisture. That's never been there into our upper ionosphere, a cold, frozen layer of our atmosphere, because there can't be any moisture. It's too cold. Now there's 14% of our ocean sitting up there. Plagues of Revelation, sign, adulterous, evil. We sell our kids. They used to eat their kids. Moloch, throw your kids in the fire. Tree worship. Moloch, remember? For sacrifice. Now we just sacrifice the children's future by spending it. Mr. Warp Speed, all this nonsense right in your face. They put all this stuff right in front of everybody's face. The man who calls himself a Christian, who has his house decorated with the bringer of the disease and the cure of the disease. That's right, Mithra, after their orgy sex festival. The orgy sex Jesus. Mithra Jesus, the Nimrod Jesus, the other Jesus the Apostle Paul warned us of. So I don't do none of that on this channel. I don't worship none of that. The aletheia, the truth. He said, I am the Hados, I am the aletheia, and I am the horizo. I am the way, the truth, and the light. And we find that through definition. We teach that on this channel. So what a blessing. And what a blessing it is to declare the message, because some of us are wise and we're getting ready. He calls out to our hearts. Remember, the biggest prepper on the planet. He said, where we're at in this, you can't corkscrew or spin me, but we're supposedly corkscrewing through this time, space, and this third dimension rock from the sun. I said, I'm not corkscrewing and spinning, but in this time and space, understand this is the devil's playground, and he gets to reign over this earth. And we should be putting this armor on every single day, as we were told, as his disciple. We are to be condemned daily, and we are to carry that burden, that cross of the world, this earth, the things of this world that we're not supposed to be participating in. We're supposed to cut them off, as the Apostle Paul tells us. The other gospel and the other Jesus. It's quite obvious, but you won't find him in houses made by hands. He told us that himself. Remember, the Most High, he doesn't dwell in houses or temples made by hands, does he? No, he doesn't. He told us that twice, as he declared, that witness, that messenger a lot. Seen enough of this. Get out of Dodge and sent the messenger. So careful, brothers, sisters. It's not the time to be in this world to be looking back like Lot's wife. Be in it, but be not of it. Be wise, but be headed and girded, loins girded in his service, not foolish, headed in the other direction, because that door will slam like the virgins, and it'll, like Noah. Hope you're preparing your vessel. Hope you're preparing your house. This is a spiritual battle that we're under right now. So what a beautiful time to be a witness to the coming destruction of this evil and adulterous generation, this, nation that is poured its, bowls out all over this nation with these, central banks and this greatest military industrial complex. We are set to burn with fire, and I cannot wait for the revelation, for these apocalypses, for these plagues. And I'm not talking about Armageddon. That's a whole separate animal. People don't even know what the word apocalypse means. They confuse that with Armageddon, and that day's coming too, but we're not there yet. Every jot and every tittle, there's a series of 7 trumpets, 7 seals. There's a final in a series of trumps that will sound. And that final trump, which obviously is nigh at the door, then we will pass through that book of judgments. All those that have ever reigned and lived on this earth will pass through that book, no matter what religious belief, or they were atheists, or they believed or not, they were a pagan, it don't matter. You will be judged by your fruit, your works, and you will pass through that book. There are 2 other books, but I'm not talking about that book right now. I'm talking about the book of judgments. And so that's what's coming. Just like Jeremiah, I am not Jeremiah. I am not Jonah. But again, at 3 days out of the belly of the whale, we've got 146 gigarams that's going to set up that revelation, 149 pound, 14 ounce held. I don't doubt that at all. It's just a matter of time, not if. I was talking about it more than a decade ago, and the mechanics, that was just 2022. That didn't have 146 gigarams of the moisture sitting up there. I'm 100% certain it's going to happen now. And I believe it'll happen soon. I believe the thing that got me taken down off this TikTok platform with the 20,000 plus followers channel is my revelation of the 400, foot, 100 to 400 foot raising and lowering of our seas. As it says, I've been waiting for that, as it says in the book of the Apocalypse, in Revelation, that the seas, there would be wars and rumors of wars, right? It talked about that, and that there'd be earthquakes in diverse places, and that the seas and the waves would be roaring. And again, I've watched tsunamis, right? I've watched the different, sneaker waves and things like this, my whole life. I was born right near the ocean. I wouldn't live anywhere near the ocean. I would live. I'm one of those people. 90%. They talk about overpopulation. 90% of the world's population lives within 100 miles of the coastline. There's no such thing as overpopulation. Don't listen to that nonsense. But population density will be the number one, thing that's going to affect you here very soon, because they are planning on this event. They know that the seas and the waves will be roaring, the birthing pains that I speak of. I believe that it was that revelation of that water overlay map, and then showing you that the federal government is 100% aware of it and has planned on that for the last 30 years of all, that I've watched. And now they've got a perfect match with my overlay map of the map that they have now taken over, either whatever way, either by, parks and different national parks and federal buildings, or what they've gotten, they've got the land that matches the same overlay map when the waters come up in these cycles. I can't tell you when. It happens, and I'm still have, another gentleman that's studying the same cycle, who's not even in the country right now, who's left the country trying to find this. I'm moving in the wrong direction. Yeah, the foolish virgins, remember, they'll be going the other way. They had to go to the store to be buying oil. And then remember, the wise virgin said, nope, you go where they sell oil and you buy. It's hard to do, brothers, sisters. Think about that. As a brother and sister in Christ, it's hard to turn a brother and sister in Christ away, isn't it? But there's a time and a place for everything. And the wise virgins parable is a beautiful parable of there's a time and a place for everything. They said, please, right? No, they said, no, you go to where they sell the oil and you buy your own oil. Because if we sell our oil, if we give you our oil, we don't know when he's going to return. And we don't want to be caught, unaware, without enough. We were told to be burning bright when he comes. So they weren't asking for the oil in their lamps. They were asking for that oil, that extra oil that they had brought. And the foolish virgins were told no. And sure enough, when they left to go buy oil, bam, that's when the wedding feast happened and the door slammed shut in their face. And they were left caught like a thief, unaware. Bam, the door, and they were headed in the wrong direction, weren't they? Don't be foolish, brothers and sisters. Have your loins girded, put up that extra oil, go bag, water filter, that's extra oil. A good vehicle equipped with an EMP proof, that's extra oil. Bless you, Josh. You're doing the righteous thing to get away from the fighting and the chaos. Sounds like you like me. You don't want to participate in it. You don't even want your son to see it. Bless you. Bless you. I don't know where you're headed. I think you should look at this overlay map that I'm talking about. Obviously, I don't know where you're getting your information from. Hopefully from the Holy Spirit speaking to you, right? He's controlling everything. But the eclipse is all fake. It's fake. It's not real. It's nothing. But I believe it's a foreshadow of what is to come to this nation. They've marked a shadow across the United States of America with the alpha symbol, the Aleph symbol. I'll stand up. Let me show it to you real quick what I've got, because this is the last lesson that I did on the. I can't go through the whole thing again with you. I could. But I'm talking about. Okay. It's better when I take this off and go through it one at a time with you, but let me erase a few of these things. Actually, I can do this real quick. Not that hard. I did this hopefully so I can reteach this lesson over and over. I'm going to keep teaching this. I'm going to keep blowing this horn because I believe that I'm the only blogger right now that is putting out this detailed information. There are other bloggers that are putting out a similar message, but not with the detail, not with some of the signs that a lot of them aren't putting out. Again, the Jonah sign, you know, with Tonga Tonga, all these other messages I keep giving you are, some of them are I am the only one. The overlay map, there's not another blogger right now that's done the overlay map on anywhere on TikTok, YouTube, Rumble. I don't care which platform. I'm talking about the overlay map of the water and coming up onto the land, and the where is that? Hold on. Let's see if this is it. I don't think. Yeah, there it is. So I'll just show you the map, and then we'll go. I'll show you this. This is the map on how far the water is going to come up onto the, and has before. This is an overlay. This is an average map of where the water has come up. All that gets, I believe it'll be in waves, not all in one cycle, in my opinion. But this is how far the water has come up. There are cities sitting off our coastlines, off our continents right now that you can go take, you know, scuba diving tours and go see these things that are sitting between 100 to 400 feet. Okay, so it's already come up. In this next cycle, it will go down. This is the story of Atlantis, you know, Tartaria, all these other, I've studied this for decades, okay? And so it's a cycle. It's not something caused by man. This is the area here left in the United States. Let me see if I can find the government overlay map. I don't know if I have to go to the video. I might have to go to the video to get you that. But the government, or the federal government, has taken over the land, whether they've taken over federally or national parks, or be it via federal buildings. You know, they have lots of different ways of doing it. Okay, I'm gonna pause this here real quick. I'm on this video here. I don't want to play the whole video. Down 400 feet on a regular cycle. So this is the land that is going to be left. You see the water washes all the way up. Give me 1 second here. To the Colorado Rockies and in here. I already showed you the. Taking years to do this overlay. Oh, darn it. Oh man, I can start it over again, do I? I could probably come past this. Hold on. The government land. This is the water overlay of the cycle where the water goes up 400 feet and down 400 feet on a regular cycle. So this is the land that is going to be left. Guys, I'm trying to get to where I can skip past some of this, but why is it not allowing me to pull that? No, you just have to hang with me. Here's the overlay of the maps. Oh, here we go. Okay. Government land. What do they know? Okay. So here, this red, I kind of have it paused on this map. Now this is two different scales, but I'm almost certain that if I just had my scales the same, that of course they bought a little more here in California, but this is a match, guys. In all these areas over here, they don't have no part. They don't want any part of it, obviously, because they know this, what I'm telling you. Okay. They're not aware of this. You know, there's been said that underneath the Colorado Denver International Airport sits the new state capitol. I'm trying to show you why a lot of these things you may have heard rumor of, there's a lot of validity to this. So let me see if I can move this over here a little bit more. You can't tell me that they're not aware. That is a near perfect match. Again, the scale's a little bit off. Obviously in Washington, that white is tilted a little bit, but look at that. So the white is where the water has come up before. And why don't they want anything over there on the East Coast all the way up? There's some high points up here, obviously over here in some of these, just some areas, but this is the landmass that they have taken over. I'm right over here. I'm right over here in Silver Lake, 4,500 feet. If you feel like you want to look at this area, I believe this would be a very, here, I'll show you where I'm at. I mean, I'm not in I believe the perfect spot, but I do believe I'll be just fine because I'm right here. But I'm sitting at 4,500 feet in the air in the Great Basin at the northern ring of the, so this again is the I'll take you back to the other map. We'll kind of let it play through here for just 1 second. So we get left white. That's public lands. The red is federal lands. Once this is all done and said. So careful. This is information that they don't want people knowing. This got my TikTok channel swamped. But obviously they know got this, guys. I've been watching. Look at this down here by these tips down here by California. It looks like a woman's breast there. I don't mean to go there, but so they know this is coming, and I believe this event will happen prior to this celestial gas giant alignment that I've been talking about. Been blowing the horn over and over and over and over again. I'll put a quick image of it, but I don't want to go through that whole lesson right now. I will. I'm going to have to erase this board off of here and do this. Actually, I need to fix that. 1024 equals 79 AD minus 1 degree of arc of rotation. So it's the same. I'll show you that. Minus now, because in 1024 we're less 25% of our magnetic protection has been scrubbed off. That's why the sun is hot and white, because our atmosphere is shrunk, and we are now much closer to the sun than we were over the last 3 solar cycles. We keep getting closer to the sun. So that would be Jupiter, and this I'm going to draw as Saturn. This is the time. These are the 4 large Jovian gas giants, is what these are called. These are the 4 largest gas giants in our solar system. Well, minus the sun, but so this is the largest gas giant. This being Jupiter. Second would be Saturn, and then we have the 2 second large Jovian, third and fourth large Jovian giants, which would be Uranus, and then Neptune. Form this square in our outer solar system, and the sun would be sitting right here. This being the sun. Give me 1 second so we can kind of get the illustration of what we got going here. It doesn't be a perfect circle, but it'll work for demonstration purposes. And if I drew that as a white sun, your brain would not register it. We've already done that on this channel. I could draw this a white sun. I could even put the letters SUN above it in bold and black and teach this lesson, and your brain will not register that as the sun. But I have to draw it this way so your brain will register it. So Earth is right here. We get pinned in between the magnetism of these 4 large gas giants, and we're going to get rocked just like we did back in 79 AD. I'm not a prophet. I'm not telling you this isn't a guess. This is the way these 4 large Jovian gas giants lined up back in the year 79 AD. Here we are again in this same alignment in 1024. We're like 239 days or something. Somebody give me a count. Let's do a count real quick. What's the count back real quick? What's the count back days from 10, 24, 24? How many days we got? 239. That's just a guesstimate. I quit counting because I know it's just creeping on us so darn fast, guys. It's just ticking away. Yeah, there you go. Colorado Springs. I believe, Josh, you're in a good spot if that's where you're at. The Lord puts the people where he wants them to be, or he gives them the information they need to know to do something about it. Maybe. Remember what the Word of God says. He gives the woman, that's the bride, his bride, right? The bride and the bridegroom. He gives the woman the wings of an angel, and she will flee to the wilderness. Remember? So, sorry, I'm throwing another shrimp on the Barbie here, throwing some more wood on the fire. So, you ever heard about this date? Heard anybody talk about this? No, there's only one other man on the earth that's talking about this. Celestial gas giant alignment. 1024 equals 79 AD minus 1 degree. So I believe it's the magnetism, like our Earth, and the sun has a magnetic field that comes out of it. So does each one of these gas giants, like a toroidal field, right? Like a Torah, the magnetism that comes in and out of our poles. Are you guys tracking here with me? That each one of these gas giants has that magnetism, and each one of them will normally with that heliocentric model. Here's another image. Magnetism comes in the poles, out the pole. That's called the toroidal field. Very similar of an image to the Most High, but he doesn't possess flesh. He says he'll come like the wind, like a toroidal field. So this is the each one of them having their own magnetism, like in us being stuck in that magnetism, all those magnetic field lines like our Earth has, the connection to our sun. I'm showing you images. This is the work that I've done, guys, here on this same subject. There's only one other man on this Earth right now talking about this. There you go. You want to see what this Earth's going to look like on, what was the day count? Nobody gave me the day count. How many days? Well, you better pay attention, because when we get pinned in between that, you're going to wish you did something about it. You really are. And it ain't going to be religion. It ain't going to be politics. It's going to be weather that's going to be messing you up. And it's probably be coming from above. So remember this video. Remember, this is a blessing, this information I'm giving you. I'm not telling you to escape your death. Your death is already written. But see that? That's Earth. That's the same image I'm showing you that here. We get pinned in, okay? You want to see what it looks like in 79 AD? Oh, wait, where is that one here? Hold on. Actually, I got to go back and screen grab 79 AD because I had the double. Actually, I got it on my other phone, and I cannot get this other phone unlocked. Let's see, what do we got? Here's another image of 1024. So you got about 230 some days, guys, to get prepared for this event. And I believe before this event happens in the month of October, you got me started about the selection with this question. So here's my answer. I don't think there'll be a selection. I think this Earth is going to be overtaken by weather. So, yeah, I believe weather will dominate this Earth. And if not, remember, on 5 of 25, here's a little bonus for you. We swing out. We're the only star, because we live on a star. You call us Earth. I'm going to put these remaining 8 back here. Just put a little more color. It might look a little more realistic here. We'll make this one here. How many we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So those aren't going to be the exact alignment, but every remaining star or planet, whatever, God didn't create planets, but we'll call it that for the lollipop. If there's a lollipop Christian, get out of here, you lollipop Christian. All right. Anyways, this is 5 of 25 right here, guys. The Earth swings out in front of the sun, and we're the only star. I call that this 5 of 25. I call that the seventh trump, but not literally. It's not biblical. Well, that is the alignment that we will be. All the remaining stars, 8 will be behind the sun. And on April, May of 5 of 25, we will be the only celestial body in front of the sun, with all the bolides sitting over here. Woo! Magnetism. Gee, I wonder, it's going to be a good show that if we can make it through this 10, 24, 24, where I think we're going to get rocked. Boy, things are just going to get even more in tabernacles. Intense, baby. Woo! Yeah, I said it. Intense. So, get it? Intense tabernacles. So, So that's 10, 24, 24. And the whole world's not getting ready for it. So there's a blessing for you, because nobody's talking about this. And I 100% guarantee that every government on this earth is aware of this. And so is most of the evil on this earth is very aware of this. And they're signaling the coming of this reset. Obviously, we're already here starting year 0. I taught that with the parable earlier with the 4 years of the fig tree. I suggest you go 2 lives back, because I taught that parable of the fig tree of year 0 being 2020. And when this star right here, remember this conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in the night sky was the great conjunction back in 12/21 of 2020. 0, 2020, 21, 21, 2022, year number 2, 2023, year number 3, year 22. We are in the 4th year, the parable of the fig tree. If it doesn't bear fruit, cut it down. We're here. 2024. X marks the spot. X is the 24th letter of the alphabet. The alpha and the omega event will happen over and has happened over the United States. So let's go over that lesson. This, you said, will there be a selection? I don't think so. I don't know. I just don't think they'll be able to pull off a selection because of the weather. I said, I didn't say politics. I didn't say the budget. I didn't say Hillary. I didn't say Trump. I said because of the weather. I believe weather will dominate the earth by then. So, and I believe we'll have this water event where it will start washing up onto this land. Obviously, as I showed you. So it's going to go like this, in my opinion, for whoever was here for the water overlay. Yeah, birthing pains, like labor. Because it's done this before. I don't know if it did it in this fashion, but I believe this is how we'll see this event happen. And so it'll also come back up into this side of the Rockies and the Cascades, all the way up where I'll have Lake View. And that was the Noah, that was the half cycle event last 6,000 years ago, guys. This is a different event. We're in the 12,000 year cycle now. So that is the extinction cycle. We've already come out and announced publicly that we've entered the 12,000 year cycle, and that the Earth has entered the 6th extinction event. So you don't need to get off your tail or wait for something to get off your tail. They have already announced that the Earth has entered into the 6th extinction event. You can get ready yesterday. And don't do it in a panic. Do it methodically. Do it slow. Don't go buy all the toilet paper and they're going to figure out that you're a prepper, and then that's going to cause red flags and put you on a list. People might not figure this out for another week, month. There's no years involved in this anymore, guys, in my opinion. We don't have years, and I don't even think we have months now away from when this here country, America, done. Put a fork in it, okay? So back in, let me fix this real quick because then I can... for the lesson real quick. I guess we're going to go over the lesson again because this is the lesson that I am going to teach over and over and over again until Shiloh returns. Right? The one that holds inheritance to the kingdom. The scepter shall not depart from Judah until Shiloh. Like the wise men saw Jupiter point to the head of Leo, declaring the head of the church, Shiloh, till Shiloh returns, right? So, hallelujah. Okay. So we're going to go over the Aleph lesson again. We're going to do this one more time. I'm not sure who's joined us here, but I'm going to keep doing it. All glory to the Father for this understanding, this message. I don't believe there's another blogger or YouTuber or TikToker or anybody on Rumble or any of these other platforms that's putting out this message. So I give all glory to the Father for this understanding and keeping this vessel standing upright so I can stand up here even with my sciatica and all the problems that I'm having here physically. At this point, I am getting better here daily, which is awesome. I do like the improvement. Been at a little bit of sciatica earlier, standing up on my feet here for a minute, but well, more than a minute, a couple hours normally, but the range of the conversation. Cool. Yeah, I cover a lot of information. I know that. But anyways, blessings. I appreciate the all glory to the Father. He's the one behind this these works here, this what I do on this earth. He's the one who's leading me to bring you to this message. So let's go over this one more time, guys. I think this is extremely important, and I believe that your days will be affected, and they've been showing you that this day for it's been around for before any of us were born, so to speak. This event was planned long ago, and they're very aware of this. So I'm showing you some logos here, the MasterCard logo, the CBS logo, your third eye, your Helio font, Under Armour. A lot of this imagery is pointing to one day, an actual date, that is a date. Whether you understand, that is a date, like Super Bowl M, that's numbers, Roman numerals. They speak in imagery as well. This is part of this Kabbalism and their gematria and their it's all written in the numbers. It's written in the stars. Satan takes everything pure and it perverts it. That's why he tells us that we must be as esteemed as the potter's clay. We must turn their works upside down. So this is what I'm showing you. I've been able to reveal these lies and the aletheia, the truth, by showing you this is what happened, and this is, I'm going to show you what truth is, and then I'm going to show you what lies are. It doesn't matter even if it's a lie. They're still able to foreshadow what I believe is the coming destruction, because they've marked and know what I know, and I'll show you that I have the understanding of what they're doing here, that it's not of God, but it is God using these daemonions, these distributors of fortunes, lies, diabolos, devils, to do this work and to foreshadow what I believe, what is to come for this here land mass, whether it's united or divided. It is marked for destruction. And that was the sign of Jonah, which I've already declared back in October, way back here, in 23 and 22, I was declaring that this sign of this evil and adulterous generation would look for a sign in the rising, out of the tomb, 3 days in the tomb and 3 days in the belly of the well. And now I brought that full circle to you, showing you that Nineveh was that sign of Jonah, that 3 days in the belly of the well, and he was spit out and was told of the coming destruction of Nineveh, the destruction in 40 days. So this is the same thing. This is the Satan doing this. Let me show you real quick here. This is the Vesica Pisces, this logo that I'm showing you here. This is when two celestial markers happen on a horizontal. This is the same thing happens with like a solar and a lunar eclipse, because they form that ring. That's where'd that go? Where'd that go? I happen to have that same image of that ring right here. This is the ring. Okay. Forming that when it first shines that first light, it rings out. See that? It rings out. It's going to go and ring out. It's going to come across, and that's going to ring out on that one side where it shines that first light. Okay. That is the wedding ring. And this actually is the image of 821, because it ringed, but it ringed at a diagonal. And that's what I'm going to show you up here. So this was called the I have it, guys. It's right here. Okay, I've actually marked myself with this image. This is what was known as the red dragon eclipse. Okay, but this is not an eclipse, because I'm going to show you that an eclipse happens on a horizontal plane, just like at the birth of Christ. These two celestial bodies form this Pisces symbol. The Vesica, this eye, this looks like the symbol of the Jesus emblem on the back of a car. There would be, like, if I put right here, you'd see this Pisces, right? The Pisces, the fish. You guys see that? Let me zoom in on this real quick. I'm gonna have to redo this, but you see that Pisces symbol right here? Darn it. Because that's the porthole that we were birthed through, which is the matrix, not outside. They call this the matrix is what we were birthed through. So this is this birth between the morning star and the king star, which birthed the king, which was the second sign, the first sign known as the Star of Bethlehem. Remember the wise men, these wise men were looking for a sign, remember? Well, that doesn't, I'm awful ashy out here in this desert. Let me zoom this back down, guys. A little bit closer. There we go. Probably too big. Let's see if that's it. Big bucks, no whammies. Way too big. My apologies. Trying to give you guys the best experience here, and this is you guys probably getting dizzy now. Oh, stop doing that with the darn camera. Okay, that's gonna have to work. Boom. Cool. So this sign again was the sign that the wise men, these wise men were looking for a sign. Remember that they were looking up at the heavens. They were watching actually Jupiter, this king star right here. And when it conjuncted again with the morning star, it formed a star over a star, two stars, which is known as the Star of David or the Star of Bethlehem. See, there's a star underneath that star. Not one star, but two stars, forming this Star of Bethlehem, where it would form that ring and that conjunction, be forming one ring. That's your halo. That's your Vesica Pisces symbol with that eye in the middle. Obviously, your third eye, CVS, MasterCard, Under Armour. It's everywhere, guys. This logo is throughout. It's stuff we've seen since we were children. They've been declaring this, and this date, this heliofont logo with this devil comet right here is the same. This is April 8th. This is the birth of the king, not an actual date, okay, here. But this is signaling this devil comet with this ring. This is signaling the birth of the king. I believe this is this similar date with this black hole sun, as I show you here. This Vesica Pisces, which obviously was inverted, forming the black hole, and then their diagonal eclipse. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here in April. But let's get on. Again, I want to show you what they did here back starting in 2017. We started in Salem, Oregon, where the sun traveled across the United States. I have the north, south, east, west. We saw the moon travel and hit the east side of the sun. Okay, I know I was a witness in Oregon. I saw it because I was standing outside with the glasses, and then I saw the moon hit the side of the sun, right over here. That's where the moon hit. So there's why I have this direction, so you can see. But instead of forming this Vesica Pisces, it started up here at a diagonal. And that's not how an eclipse, it didn't form the Vesica Pisces. It actually started this diagonal, and I'm jumping out of my skin telling everybody, how's that possible if the moon hit the side of this? And why is it? That would mean that the moon had to come up out of our atmosphere and come back down. I saw it hit horizontally, how is it coming diagonally through the sun? I said, that's not possible. And everybody's like, no, Tracy, that just be quiet. Just, watch, or what is. I'm like, you guys, that's not how an eclipse works. I'm very aware of how it evolved. I've watched the stars since I was a child. I'm very into eclipses, and I'm not into astrology, but astronomy is very fascinating to me. The way the stars are and the lineup in the heaven, the circuits and the pole star and the North Star. And it's like a clock, guys. It's like the finest Swiss watch ever made. That's why he told us in Genesis, it's there. He gave us the sun and the stars and the moon. That's why God did not create any planets, the sun and the stars and the moon for times and for seasons. So it's there for a time. It's a clock to me is all it is. It's a marker so I can look up at the heavens and know exactly what time it is, okay? And that's why I'm trying to show you. They've got people looking down on the ground because when this happened, this started over here in Eugene, Oregon, right? Or Salem. I was in Springfield, Eugene area, but this started in Salem, Oregon, and it traversed and it went through 7 Salems, and it came out on the 33rd parallel. So 7 Jerusalems, 7, forming this diagonal as the sun traversed diagonally through the moon, right? Supposedly forming this eclipse. And I'm like, this is not. And then I'm watching as the sun hits the eastern side of the sun and then traverses the wrong way across the United States. And everybody's like, what are you talking about, Trey? I'm like, dude, are you guys crazy? The sun doesn't go that way. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. This is a bunch of crap. I'm like, I'm like, I went and got a tattoo of it, guys. Back then, I knew that I was not playing around. This is something that meant the world to me. I wouldn't have marked my body with it and wouldn't have this on my body if it wasn't. That's why I believe this is my time. This is the message he sent me here to declare. The coming of the destruction of this nation that they are signaling, foreshadowing. They're putting, I don't know how they put that shadow, followed the sun across the ground the wrong way, but it did. It happened. Just like I don't really think that the whole spamdemic thing was planned, but it still affected everybody. This is something that happened. You can't dispute that the sun went the wrong way and the shadow fell. That is crazy. So still to this day, since back in October, even in 2022, I warned of the year of food, and 2023 be the year of everything you see in the sky. I hope that people will start paying attention. I've been trying to get people to look up for decades. The Weeknd thinks he's a star boy. I've had Star Wars like you couldn't imagine. I've been trying to get people to look up at the stars forever. And they keep don't look at the sun, Tracy. Oh, you're whatever. You guys, the sun went the wrong way. It traveled through the wrong direction to be an eclipse. It did not Vesica Pisces. It did not ring out. It rang out, but up at the top, not as the birth. This is false. This is not how it does. The moon would have to come up out of her atmosphere and come back down in at an angle. Hocus pocus, guys. I'm telling you, that's not real. That's not real. That's not how an eclipse works. That's not how Shiloh was birthed. That wasn't the birth of the king. That's not the Vesica Pisces. It never formed that. I told you, I showed you the image that it did. It just formed that. I don't know how they did that. Still to this day, I keep asking over and over, anybody got an answer for how you make the sun go the wrong way? I don't know. Doesn't matter. It happened though, guys. So here we go. Comes out across whoa, that's not a very straight line. Well, you better walk the line, sir. There, you better draw a better line there. Okay. You better toe the line. Well, that's not a very good marker either. Man, I need to get some. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Okay. Someday. Work with what you got. There we go. This one's working. So, there we go. There's 2017. That's count one, year one. Starting the first mark where the United States went across. Now, 2023, skip ahead 6 years here. the second event happens and it starts again in Oregon, right? But this time it comes through and it goes through Texas, right? Want you to keep in mind, this is your first X right here. Keep that marked right there or mark in your head, because we're going to skip up to April 8th. And this is the triple X that I'm showing you, the a coming of the monster, the coming of the release, the beast. The X is the XXX, triple six, triple X rated, trip XXX is the the World Wide Web, the coming of the AI Antichrist, unleash the beast on the monster can. So as we see here, many people missed that. Again, I held a live stream hitting 18,000 followers, asking people, do you guys understand what's going on here? I don't think you do. You have no idea what it's like to be in this head of mine. I've been holding this in forever. I've actually was holding it so long that I marked my body with this event. Get inside my head. Let me ask you what you think. And kind of gave a thanks live stream when I hit 18,000 followers on TikTok. So I did this already, guys. I warned everybody and asked them, how did this happen? And then warned that they're going to do it again back in 2023 before October, even in November and I think September maybe. I don't know if I did it that early, but I was already talking about the 9/23 incident with the coming of the king with Shiloh and the second coming, the Revelation 12 sign. It was all over this. So this was your first, obviously, crossing here, your first X. Everybody's talking about this X coming here in April, but many have forgotten that the sun went the wrong way again, traveled from west to east. Now, on this particular eclipse, I called this particular logo right here, and know the way that Satan works is he perverts, inverts, and forwards and twists. So I called on that 18K stream, I said, this is what I see them doing. I see them, instead of horizontally eclipsing, since I saw a diagonal, I see a vertical, vertical, and understood this Under Armour logo was the same logo with inversion, and called out that this is what I see happening. And that's exactly what happened on October 23rd, is just as I said, it came vertically, not horizontally, from the top down. Were you a witness? Did you see that? Did you see this happen? Because this one happened diagonally, this one happened vertically, and this is not an eclipse. Again, didn't form the Vesica Pisces, didn't get dark here, which was rather strange. But what I thought too, which I called and knew that this was going to, obviously, they had been talking about this moment of time of the washing away of the rain, this black hole sun. Won't you come? Wash away the rain of this event again that comes back in 20. They're talking about this age of Pisces going into the age of Aquarius. And this is another image that they put in music and television, and this same image was seen in the sky. This formed this ring, or this black. I don't have a black marker anymore, guys. All my black markers are gone. So this will probably pull the same effect for your eye, though. It formed this black hole sun. Won't you come wash away the rain, right? Sure did. Form that black hole sun with that ring around the outside. Well, that's not very good because I did that last time and formed over it. But anyways, you can guys still see it formed that ring. Did you see that on October 14th of 2023? Another lie, another deception. The sun went the wrong way again. Anybody got an explanation of what's really going on? So I know what's going on. It's lies. It's deception. That's not how an eclipse works. So April 8th is soon upon us, guys. That's less than a month away or something like that, isn't it? Or a little over a month away. You know, we're weeks away from that event happening. I believe this will be your last time, guys, in this country to get whatever you need to get prepared. They're signaling the coming of destruction, foreshadowing the destruction, just like the destruction that will come in the book of Luke that tells us about that hailstones the weight of the talent. I told you the sign of Jonah back in Honga Tonga went off on February 12th of 2022, and it shot 146 gigarams into our upper atmosphere, and it's sitting up there waiting for that Revelation 12 sign, or that Revelation, the plagues. Where is that? I should know that. Off the top of my head, I don't. I've gone over it a million times, but okay, guys, here's where I'm going with this next one. So we've got 1, count 2. Here's your second X, your ba, ba, ba. Here comes your triple X. I'm not sure how this will happen on April 8th, but I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to go ahead and bring it. It's the wrong way. It should come from the other side. But if you'll take account here, let me come here from this side. I think they know that I'm on to them, and they obviously can control this from whatever side they want. I just showed you they came vertically, they came horizontally. They came diagonally. They've come vertically, and now I think they'll bring it back to the horizon, in my opinion. Now, it's just my opinion, but keep in mind, this is a 7 from 7 to 17 to 24. That's a 7-year marker, too, as well. Keep in mind, I have that 7 seals, and 7 to be 7 is judgment. So look at this window. That's another mark for judgment. These 3 markers mark 7 years. That's another symbol of judgment. So what I see happening, that this is going to traverse again the wrong way across the United States, guys. The sun is going to go the wrong way. So not sure what you think of this, but it's going to cross right through Little Cairo or Little Egypt, Illinois. There's your second X, and there's your third X. I might have this a little bit off, but it forms the Aleph symbol. Here we go. The Aleph, or the ox, the XO, or the Alpha and the Omega event. He said, I am the Alpha and I am the Omega. X is the letter 24. X equals 24. So that is the beginning and the end in 24 of the United States of America. America, the Aleph symbol. In the word abyss, that's one word in English. That's what you call hell. That's 2 words in Greek. Bis is the word knowledge. The A, or the alpha primitive, it negates, it cancels whatever word that follows. So it cancels, it negates whatever follows, foreshadows the following of the negation of America. The new mystery Babylon, as you know it. Adios, amigos. The world as you know it. I'm calling for the world as you know it, not the end of the world, but as you know it. Yes, I hope you have all your downloads off the internet that you need. I think they're going to make people drink the pitch black Mountain Dew. But please remember, it's been marked, va, 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 the Alpha, the Aleph. The Alpha negates 7 years, 7 seals. 7 is the number of completion. Look over here, the Heliofont logo. Helio, Omega, font. There's your, let's go ahead and put the cherry on top. Because remember over here in the night sky, you're going to see that devil comet, aren't you? Well, if I'm not mistaken, devil is the word demon, right? Which means the distributor of lies or fortunes is what a demon is, correct? Demon, lies, distributor of fortunes. Isn't that rather convenient? There's that little devil comet when this April 8th event, it's right here. Cool. This is just what they did. I'm not. This is a shadowing, guys, on the ground here. They're marking this on the ground. You guys, you should look up in the heavens and know this isn't real. But it doesn't mean that this isn't still happening on the ground, okay? The devil gets to do stuff like this. He's allowed to change times and seasons. This is part of how this, visual voodoo works with these guys. They cast spells and tell lies to you. You grew up watching a tell lie vision, right? The Black Mirror, and you went to school with everybody else, right? To be schooled. So you go with the same narrative everybody believes, you grow up watching programs, right? Television programs and channeled the same thing. All glory to God, all glory to the Father. Hallelujah. Don't please, I'm just a filthy rags. I'm just his vessel. But you guys, 7 years it took from August 21st, April 24th, the Vava law. This is what I believe that's going to be unleashed, guys. I believe they're going to go straight pitch black with you. They're going to go pitch black. They're going to turn the lights out, the internet off. It'll come back on. It's not the end of the world. It's the end of the world as you know it. The end of America as we know it. Okay? I hope that I'm wrong, but I don't. This is what they're signaling, okay? Foreshadowing again. So remember that this went through 7 Salems, right? This is going to go through 7 Palestines and 4 Ninevehs, right? It's N-E-N-E-N-E-N-E. I think that's how you spell it. 4 Ninevehs. 4 Ninevehs. Don't you remember? I keep telling you about this sign of Jonah. The sign of Jonah. Guys, remember, Jonah was cast into the belly of the whale. Like Christ was encased in the tomb. He was encased in the belly of the whale, right? And he was spit out, right, on the shores of Nineveh. And then he was told of the destruction that would come in 40 days. All glory to God for this message. But this sign of Jonah, I can't make it any clearer. They wouldn't make this mark through 4 Ninevehs if they didn't know what I'm telling you. Glory to God. Glory to the Most High. They know the destruction of this nation will happen soon. I'm not picking a day because that's not what they're telling you here. This is a foreshadow. They're leaving shadows on the ground. They're foreshadowing what is to come. You understand? I'm not picking a day. I'm not a date picker. I can tell you this will happen on this date. But they know the devil is wise as a serpent, right? Because he is the Nakash, he is the serpent, okay? So he is wise. He gets to mirror, and he used to hang out with the Most High, remember? Yes, he knows all the things. They were like 2 peas in a pod. A lot of people have forgotten that. You guys want to go outside? Sorry, I got my kitties wanting to go outside. No, I'm not sorry. I apologize. Go outside, little boy. Donald. That's my orange kitty, Donald Don. Donald. His name is Johnald That's my cat's name, Donald Don. And it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that he's an orange tabby. Come on, leave the poor kitty alone. He's a good boy. He's my Donald Don, the orange tabby. Has nothing to do with, yes, never mind. So anyways, he's a good kitty. You guys have seen him since he was a little kitten got to see him grow over on the TikTok channel up over there. So, okay, guys, mark for judgment, the demon comment. Can I put anything be more obvious? XXX, X marks the spot. Mr. Twitter. Right, Mr. Twitter with his tech, right? Now it's not Twitter anymore, Tracy. It's X. I know. Even Mr. Musk is signaling what is coming, isn't he? With his boring machines and all his Starlink and all his Hollywood and the cast and the broadcast. There we go. Cast never thought about words like this till recently. Cool. LM. Well, thanks for coming in. You'll enjoy this channel. I do a lot of decodes and I define the dialectus, the gloss of the tongue. We use definition to get rid of translation. I took the Beverly bus down to Beverly Boulevard to Barney's Beanery to buy a bowl of beans. I whisper that in your ear and you tell that to the next person that comes up behind you in the chat and they keep telling it. Never comes out the 4th or 5th person the same way. And never. That is a translation. So we undo that through definition. And then these people speak in numerology, They speak in symbols. They speak in many languages that people just don't, CVS, MasterCard. Some of this stuff has been around if you're old like me. Oh, you can't see. I got a gray beard, but I'm an old man. But anyways, this is something that has been around. This Under Armour logo is everywhere right now, right? Here's what I see, guys, too. This is something that I added to this lesson. This va, okay? This va, this XXX, this worldwide, net, the interweb, this XXX here, and this XX event. What I believe this is signaling is the coming of the Antichrist, which will have to destroy this system, this USA, this freedom system, to bring in their dragon, which is a continuation of the dragon of communism, a worldwide communistic system where there's the haves and the have-nots. We already saw socialism. Y'all got stimulus checks, so we already saw socialism. There's a difference between communism and socialism, and the difference is a matter of time. It always one leads to the other. Socialism always leads to communism, and here we are. There's still worldly events that are happening, guys. Mr. Musk is helping this all come to pass, I believe. When the lights go out, Mr. Musk is going to be with his Starlink. He's going to put on the big show for Mr. T. Mr. T and Mr. Trump are the same thing. Mr. Musk and Mr. Trump, Mr. Warp Speed, are working hand in hand with each other for this event. That's how I believe this devil comet, this distributor of lies, this daemonion, this demon, this diablo, right? The definition of a demon is one who distributes lies. But brothers and sisters, just like Jeremiah warned of the coming of the destruction, he wasn't a come to Jesus prophet. I'm not claiming to be a prophet. He wasn't a come to Jesus apostle. He warned of the coming destruction of Babylon. Jonah, the same thing, warned of the coming of Nineveh, the destruction in 40 days. So I am giving you this same warning. There's no way that this sun goes the wrong way. Once, twice, 3 times, a lady. Oh, right? Because, my agape is Shiloh, but that's who I love. But anyways, so, I told you I was old. But 4 Ninevehs, guys, come on. The Jonah sign is when Nineveh, the destruction of this nation, it happens to be 4 Ninevehs. Come on. And the destruction in 40 days. I'm not picking... No, Donald Trump cannot run as the president. Other than... Chris, are you talking about me? He's missing the red string. Other than that, he has every... I think you're talking about Mr. Trump. Mr. Guy, I'm going to decorate my house with the bringer of the disease and the cure of the disease. And yet I'm going to, the Nimrod Jesus, the Mithra Jesus, but I'm calling myself a Christian, right? Is that who you're calling crazy? A lunatic? You mean like lunar worship? Like lunacy? Like Tammuz? Like the pagan lunar, throw your children in the fire and eat them, the sacrifice, the Yule celebration, the modern day celebration of throw your kids in the orgy, eat the king of the Saturnalia, eat the king of the Yule festival, branded Christmas. Is that what we're talking about, Chris? Huh, interesting. Cool. I'll give you one more chance to come clean on who you think you're talking to. I cannot stand that LOL. Why do you guys put that? I don't end the whole thing, but when I see LOL, I see Lucifer, right? Lucifer out loud. That's what I hear coming out of your mouth with your symbology and your acronyms, your LOL, love to laugh, your love of Lucifer. Careful with your symbology in here. I speak in many languages. I speak in their languages. I speak in Hebrew, Greek. I speak American too. That's a whole language of its own. So the red string. No, I'm sorry. I'm not Tucker Carlson. I'm not Tucker. I don't wear the red string. So, okay. Anyways, guys, moving on. America, the sign of Jonah. Obviously, 4 Ninevehs, 4 Palestines, 7 Jerusalems. The sun going the wrong way, taking 7 years, marks the spot. Mark for judgment. I think the judgment that is coming is the unleashing of the Antichrist, which will be not an artificial, but advanced Antichrist system will be revealed after this time, or very soon after. This is the coming of the revealing. The restrainer will be lifted. The seventh trumpet in the seal is nigh at hand. We've seen all the signs in the heavens. I don't know about you, but I'm just giving you just a tip of the iceberg of all the signs that I've seen. But any questions on this lesson here? Any questions on this Alice symbol? Mark for judgment. Abyss negates. No knowledge. Bye-bye. New mystery, Babylon. Soon the dragon will come and take over, and you will have blue helmets patrolling these streets. I believe so. You're not going to get your zombie apocalypse like you wanted. I have another channel, LM. If you'll go over to my channel is taken down over there. It's still up, but I can't do lives over on TikTok anymore. There's a lot of information on the channel Predestined FOR Light, and then the backup channel is the same number as this on TikTok. If you'll go over there, you just want information. I hate TikTok now. I feel filthy even going over there, but I didn't do it I did it to get the message out. Did it because he made me do it. So I don't do me. I do whatever he makes me do. So I'm just his vessel, and he leads me the information. I blow the horn. I'm just his messenger is all. That's what I'm here to do. I got no other purpose in this life other than trying to maybe get people to come out to this property where I'm at to get away from this sun, because soon it's going to rock this world. And woo, I hope you got a plan, because I could be worried about zombies or politics or Democrats or Republicans. I'm be worried like, holy crap, we got, hailstones the size of basketballs like the 1800s. Here we go again. Here we go again. Same thing, So, but you can go over there. I put a lot of content on that platform, but I've been taken down. I came over here about 3 weeks ago. This channel was at about 3,000 and we're tipping 3,300. So blessings, giving me the platform for this message. It's just TikTok, but it's Predestined FOR. I've got the FOR with the numbers, and then the letters FOR, and then the backup channel is the same as this, the Predestined 4. There's the letter channel where it's 20,000 followers on TikTok, and then there's the 4 light channel, which is the backup. If you'll follow that, I can get 1,000 followers. I'll actually start trying to go live on TikTok again. They've just wiped out the other channel. And actually, I don't think I'm going to actually have any success over there. I've tried to drive, I've had a pretty good stream going in here where I've had 100 people late at night. So I probably won't stay on here too long and come back on later when we get some more people on, so we can get, 40, 50, 100 people in the room. I know at least 10 people over there to TikTok. And they said, yes, I did subscribe to your backup channel, and it didn't show up. So I think they've got that channel on lock. It's the water overlay video that's hurting me, guys. Look at it. Go look at the FR Light channel. Do a little investigation on your own. If you go to TikTok and you follow or if you don't have to follow it, but if you look at the Predestined for, I don't even care if you follow the FR Light channel, please follow the number 4 channel. But because I don't do any videos. Remember our last channel on that video was going, gone, and I turned that channel off. It's still on, but I can't produce any live streams. I don't get any traction. What I'm saying is if you look at the video count on the views prior to me I'm a First Amendment auditor. I audit the police. I won't let them trample on your rights. They don't trample on mine. I used to be a police officer. I used to be a tyrant. I used to be a veteran, a tyrant, a train killer, whatever you want to call it. I did horrible things, and I'm not proud of anything I've done. That's my past. I don't try to worry about that now. I don't worry about things I can't change. I try to worry about what I can. So, but I audit the police as well, because they harassed me out here because I stood up during the COVID against the sheriff and against the governor
and against the rich people out here. I'm always battling somebody or some principality, power, spiritual wickedness, or the rulers of the darkness of this world. I've been doing it for over 30 years. So I'm not going to stop fighting for God. My battle is not the flesh, although I battle my own flesh more often, but not my brothers. I try to teach meek and get away from this stuff. Don't fight anybody for nothing. You're successful when you're on television or you're on the internet and you're watching it on TV, people fighting for toilet paper. You're like, success. That's what I'm talking about right there. Man, I'm sure glad that I went to the store and bought TP for my bunghole, right? So that's how we're going to succeed, I believe, in the future, by not participating in any of this. And so I try to get people away from it. I do know, as a law enforcement officer, the first thing you do when there's confrontation is you separate the two people. So I'm not much into cops. I hate cops. I think all cops in America are tyrants. They enforce capital letter law. And yeah, so between those two videos, watch my video count. It goes from, 10,000, almost 15, some of it to just a couple hundred views. So they took me down over there. So here I am 3 weeks, into this channel, because I waited a little while to try to build that channel. And when it didn't, I said, the heck it, I'm going back over to YouTube. If nobody will follow me on TikTok, you can have it, whatever. And so I have about 6 people that have followed me over out of 20,000 people that have come over from that channel. Blessings, brothers and sisters, that have followed me over here. So I'm not mad at anybody. It's all by the will of the Father. But if you look at what I'm telling you, it's the overlay map that's taken my video, my channel, taken the channel, our channel, the channel, and I haven't put a date on it, but I think it'll be with this 4-gas giant alignment that I tell you. I think we're going to get pinned in, and I think around October, maybe around September, something is going to shift on this earth, and it's going to cause the waves and the sea to start coming up onto the land on every single continent. It will not flood the land out. That's the promise of the rainbow. God will never flood this whole earth again. He's already done that. The promise is this time he will use fire, and he's going to use the sun to do that. That's what I'm preparing for. That's what I suggest you prepare for. You can prepare for a whole lot of different things. I wonder why. If they drop the truth. Yeah. So this water overlay map, it's going to go down. Okay. People will call. Don't like it. No, cool, outstanding, good stuff. Yeah, they're all over. Yeah, remember, the devil's not down here messing with people, and it's not just the devil. It's a third of the angels that are down here, right? 1/3 of the angels are down here, and they're not messing with people who are already going to hell. That's pointless. Why? The devil is smart and wise and cunning, the Nakash. He's not going to be messing with people on this earth that are already hellbound. That is not efficient. I'm a veteran, and that is not efficient. He is messing with people he's trying to blot people's name out of that, brothers and sisters. He's trying to bring people, that blotting out that it speaks about in the book of Revelations, like it speaks about in the book of Colossians 2:14, that put that written law on stone, written now sprinkled on the fleshy tables of our hearts with the blood of Christ. The price that he paid. It's spiritual now. It's not we're not under the flesh. We're under the spiritual law. And that's that blotting out that I'm telling you, that these devils are down here trying to mess with people that are trying to do righteous and things that are right, standing up, fighting principalities, power, spiritual wickedness, and even trying to spread these truths, this gospel to others. Absolutely. Plan being attacked electronically. So I don't suggest ever, and I've kept saying that to anybody, not that I'm trying to be the only one, you know what I'm saying? But I don't suggest that you mirror that video. You probably will have your channel taken down and banned or as well, because there's not another blogger, YouTube, TikTok, Rumble channel, anywhere I've seen on the internet when I first came on here, because were you in there when I showed you the overlay of the water and the federal land? It's not so much the water overlay, because I've seen some other people put out some similar information about this cycle. We don't know exactly when that it happens, the raising and the lowering of the 400 feet of the oceans, but it does happen. But it's the fact that that overlay map is like this. Remember? It's like that. It's like it matches perfectly. So they know this is going to happen, and I don't think it's something that's going to happen even in 2025. If it will be, it may be when we push out in front of the sun all by ourselves. But we got to get through that 10-24-24 alignment like we were at back in 79 AD. The problem that I'm having, guys, is that magnetosphere is weakened by 25%. That magnetic canopy, that magnetic protection. So I'm already, and it happens. I'm out here in the desert, but man, the wind has been blowing like crazy. I know we've been getting some space weather. We've had a Earth-facing coronal hole stream. I don't know how much you watch of the sun, but I watch it every day, and I have for decades. There's LASCO C2, LASCO C3. There's SolarHam, SpaceWeatherNews.com. There's 13 filters around different satellites around the sun, moving around the sun and taking images, and whether they're computer generated or not, they're images of the sun, and you can watch even with your own eyes. And a lot of days, if you have, just even a little bit of filter, or there's all kinds of telescope. There's tons of different ways to watch the sun. So there's so many different ways, but I suggest that is what I am preparing for more than anything on this earth. I'm preparing for the sun, because I know pretty soon the sun, if they don't take the grid down, that the sun will do it. We're overdue already. We're already overdue for the sun to produce a large solar X flare. And when it hits us, we're done. We're done. I think that's actually going to cause, like the magnetics, that caused the migration of our poles starting back in the 1800s. Shadow band. That's what they call it. Thank you. That's I forget. That's what they did to me. I mean, the channel's still up, but I can't drive any traffic to the channel. And ever since I did that overlay video, no more live stream over there. No more. I can't spread that message over there. So I spend my time over here, and what a blessing it is to go from about 300 followers, subscribers over here to over now about 3,300. So thank you, Father, for giving me this platform and us, this body, because the Grace and Truth Ministries channel is on this platform. So hey, LM, I always ask people, and nobody ever says it. You've been like the fourth, fifth person this year, and many people last year, to bring up the Euphrates. Do we remember how the Euphrates was dried up last time? I always ask people about this, because they talk about the Euphrates, because that is one of the signs. Obviously, the Euphrates drying up. Thank you for paying attention. But do we remember how the didn't overlay video? Sonia, ways to watch the sun. We're overdue for solar. Cool. Oh, that's what they did to me when I did the overlay video. Cool. Outstanding. Thank you, Sonia, for being here. And always mirroring blessings. Sonia is my mirror. And I cannot thank Sonia enough for coming in here and always mirroring, and sometimes leaving comments too. At first, I thought she was just a bot, but she's proven that she's here independently. She's alive, breathing, human being. And thank you for mirroring all the I don't know how, either you type really fast or you got a program that's working here. So I appreciate all the work that you do for the channel, and your blessing to this ministry, and your blessing to the Grace and Truth body here at High Desert Grace and Truth. So this is a no, I use TikTok, but TikTok has shadow banned me, so I can't get the traction over there. I spend so much time and spent almost more than a month, and I couldn't get in more than a month. I couldn't get 40 followers to that channel over there on TikTok, and I came over here in 1 month and got over 2,700 followers. So I think I'm hallelujah. There we go. Hallelujah. Thank you, Sonia. You're such a blessing to this ministry. You really are. I just love seeing you when you come in here, because I know if people are hearing Some people do better with visual. Some people do better with audio. Some people do better with both. So you're just edifying this message for me. And you've been such a blessing following me over there from another one of the TikTok followers, guys. Sonia is one of my TikTok followers, has followed me over here to the YouTube platform. So yeah, think about that, guys. 27 to actually almost 3,000 followers, because we're at 3K. So almost 3,000 followers in a month. Hallelujah, Father. Let me use me, Father, as your vessel. Use me as obviously you see Sonia is taking and mirroring. I just trying to do that, guys. I'm just trying to mirror what I see the Father do, and then teach you what I see them mirroring. You know, this is not true. This is not, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't still have symbology behind it. It has massive amount of symbology behind it, is what I'm trying to show you. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that excellent? I mean, hallelujah. I don't know if we made that kind of traction over there on TikTok there. So it sped up fast, but this one it's slowing down a little bit because I've got YouTube now filtering out these kids, which has been is blessing too, because I was so tired of these underage kids coming in when the filter was not supposed to be for. I mean, I don't think the content I put out is anything, again, that a child, I don't use profanity, and I think kids should know a lot of what I talk about, but I just don't want the issue. And God, they come in and they all have about 2 or 3 things that they say, and a lot of it's just very it's defiant, and it's very filthy, and it's perverted is what it is. And so it's hard to see these children, their minds so programmed into all almost coming in like androids. So I'm glad that they're starting to filter that out. So we're not getting some of the numbers coming into the channel like we were, but I do not care. It's not about the numbers. So it's about getting this message out to the body. If you go back and you watch me, you know, some of my first videos that I put out here on this platform, gosh, over a decade ago, was telling people, even if just one person hears the message, man, then it's a success for me. So I've always been like that. On this platform, it was never about becoming a success or anything like that. It does help when the channel grows, so more people hear the message. So I will promote the channel now, and I will, but I'm still dead set that if you don't forget to, cool, much appreciation, guys. That's what I'm talking about. This is your channel too, guys, because again, I'm going to sit back down, guys. Let me sit back down. I hope that was edifying. You know, somebody who was, I forget who asked that, who asked about that, the symbology, but I'll go over it again. I'll keep going over it, and I'm sure I'll have more to add to the message as every day, you know, TikTok goes by here. Sorry, I got somebody sitting in my seat here. Say, well, Dad, you were over there doing the live, so I'm keeping your seat warm for you, Dad. This is Yoder boy. He's my good boy. He's my pants. Oh, I love that boy. He's such a good kid. Can I sit down there, buddy? Please? Can you squeeze over? I think I got enough room there. All right. Good puppies. So, but anyways, appreciate all the help on promotion of the channel, because again, it does get the message out there, hopefully to the people that the Most High wants. I think the message that I'm putting out is, you know, again, all glory to the Father. I think it's epic, man. I think what I've discovered here is absolutely, you know, I don't think it's as amazing as the Revelation 12 sign, but man, this is incredible how they've been able to deceive this nation, and the world is all, you know, I see this outside. Obviously, this is a worldwide net, you know, an interweb. And so it goes out all across the world. And he's such a neat boy. He's hanging out here with his dad. He's just hanging with the dad. Yeah, it's my boy. He's my good pants. He's my good boy. He was his dad. Oh, I was trying to get the nose to the dad. Yeah, there's Tango over there hanging on the couch too. Just hanging with the dad. Yes, they are. What are you doing? What are you doing? What do you think you're doing?
What a good boy. He's such a neat puppy, man. I'll tell you, he's got to be the best puppy in the whole wide world. In the best pets. He's the best pets. He's the best boy. What a cutie guy. But anyways, I hope this message is edifying for you guys. And I just find it rather rather alarming that what are you doing, Pence? What are you doing, boy? That they've been able to deceive the nation, and it's because people will not look up, you know, and notice that this isn't an eclipse. This isn't how an eclipse happens. This isn't how, I mean, they called it the devil comet. Can you make it any more obvious that it's deception, but it is still a foreshadow of what is to come? So remember Nineveh. Yeah, everybody takes their stupid pills, huh? The red pill, blue pill, kind of they want that la la land, you know. Oh, don't tell me. I want the fairy tales and the I dream a genie and give me wishes, and yeah, just a bunch of hocus pocus, you know, a smoke and mirrors, guys. It's all been the devil gets to deceive like this and get away with it, but it's not permanently. Remember, it's a short time that he'll have reign on this earth. And soon God will bring the fire. He will take the evil from this place, and he will make a new heaven and a new earth. So we don't have to suffer for eternity. It feels like it in this lifetime. Sometimes it seems very long to me. Again, I was thinking as I was studying earlier how why would you want to live here longer than God would keep you here? You know what I'm saying? Life extension, all these people trying to stay here, use tech to extend their life. That is crazy. You know, it'd be such a blessing if God would just take me from this world today. It's not going to happen, but you know, that would be okay with me, because there's nothing here other than the word for me. I have the body of Christ, you know, and I have this beautiful piece of property out here. It's just a sagebrush, you know, it looked like an old Western town or whatever that I built out of nothing. But the blessing is the quietness and the still and the calmness, you know, other than the wind right now, but it's a quiet place. So, but it's just land. It'll be here after I die. I'll go back to the dirt where I came from. So not sure why people want to hold on to this place. Yeah, Ronald McDonald versus SpongeBob. Yeah, exactly. They're just a bunch of actors, bunch of clowns, you know, in a clown suit. Exactly. Ronald McNugget McTrumpet versus, you know, tripping up stairs. So, oh yeah, you can't. Predestination is such a beautiful lesson. Gosh, I like teaching predestination. I have that, guys. See, thank you for reminding me of that, NM. I have the gospel, brothers and sisters. I have the body. I have this ministry. Even though I don't get to share my life or my land with anybody, I do have this worldwide net that I can get on here and declare this gospel, and that does bring me happiness. Even though my suffering is just a constant battle with, you know, because of what I choose to do in this lifetime, as far as, you know, I have flesh that I have to look after, but yeah, I wouldn't take anything I've ever done back, because I know that even if I don't gain success, you know, as far as the treasure on the earth, you know, that if I could just have some gravel in my driveway, you know, some of the basic necessities. I'm not a person that wants luxuries, you know, so I quit using a rake and a shovel, just some of the basic things, all the hard knocks. But I'm not asking for an easy life, but again, to share what I have. But it's okay, because I do get to share the gospel, and I do get to share the message. I get to share the coming of the King. I get to declare that, and I believe that I'm not satisfied with a lot of things in life. This flesh sometimes, I feel like I could do more, but I'm not complacent, but I've been very satisfied with the treasure that I've been given, and that I've been able to share that treasure with others, just like what I've shared with you earlier with this, this sign of Jonah and the sign of Jonah, and, the double, that I've gone over with you, and declare that this is this is him working through them, through the devil. He works through all things. And so this teaching, and again, predestination, to be able to teach predestination both historically and biblically, man, wow, I am absolutely blessed, beyond anything I could ever imagine. So thank you, Father, for this blessing of the gospel, this blessing of the truth. And then thank you for coming in again, Crypto, for all the people that come in and support the oh, hallelujah, LM. Well, hey, thank you, the Father. He'll show you. It's a difficult path. Remember, he tells us to be saved, guys. To be saved, the word in the Greek is sozo. Sozo. In order to be, that's salvation. The salvation it's a purchased possession. It's from the foundation of the world. God purchased his bride. He knew who they were because he made them do it. He made them love him. He made them walk and follow in his commandments. And we have to endure. That's what the word sozo or save means in the Greek. It means to be carried from a beginning point and carried to that ending point. And that's why he tells us we must endure to the end to be saved. Hallelujah. You guys are such a blessing, man. You guys are, please give full glory to the Father. I'm nothing. I'm filthy rags. I'm just a messenger. I'm not here. I'm just here in the flesh to declare his word. The flesh beats me up every day. I fight with him every day because he keeps me out here alone and isolated. But I need to remind myself daily that I have this family now that appreciates this message and come out of this winter stupor that I've been in here and get more sunshine, I guess. Maybe not spend as much time behind this black mirror here, but what a blessing you guys are. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem, man, is that they don't believe in that predestination. They can't let go. They think they're controlling this. They think when they leave their job that they're turning right out of the parking lot, or they're turning left, that they made that decision. When God, from the foundation of the world, chose his bride and gave what is known as self-will, but he is the only sovereign anything that exists without that darkness. We're all in prison, brothers and sisters. We're all born in this corrupt dust. Every one of us is not deserving of anything. This king, a sin is a sin to him, and the wages of sin is death. So if we have a blessing and he has drawn us to him, which he says, if I did not call out to their hearts to seek after me, not one of them would. We just have a tendency to want to serve the flesh, brothers and sisters. But if we let it go, remember what he tells us in his book of Matthew 10:34-39, those that are willing to give their life spiritually, brothers and sisters, for my name's sake, is the promise of eternal salvation. And those that cling to this life, just like Lot, she succumbed to her death, is the promise of eternal destruction. So we can't hold on to these things. They're not here to, we still have to live the flesh. Yeah, many of them are. Or the Most High just doesn't give people a hearing ear. He does not remove the scales from most people's eyes, guys. If you've come to these truths, edify and glorify him, that he's given you a hearing ear and eyes to see that the scales have been removed, because many will not see it. Many will not. You can tell them, if you've learned this, well, if you don't go teach it, please, go out and spread the good news of the coming of the King. But you can speak until you're blue in the face to some people, guys, and it's not going to make a difference at all. He just does not make goats sheep. And if a goat is a goat and a sheep is a sheep, then that's what they were born as from the foundation of the world. As he said, I create vessels of wrath fitted for destruction from the foundation of the world. So again, hashtag what part of from the foundation of the world do you not understand, right? He saved who he chose. He bought them before all this was even started. Remember, he said, I so loved Jacob that I gave the inheritance who I called Israel, and I hated Esau before either one of them were ever born or done anything on this earth. He already hated Esau, and he loved Israel, who was Jacob, remember? And he gave the inheritance, and he denied the inheritance to Esau. So he knows what we're going to do before we're born. And if you look at how Esau acted and look at how Jacob acted. Boy, oh boy, that doesn't add up, does it? It doesn't. Esau was a man after God, and Jacob, he was a poop stick, man. He was hard to deal with. And God still gave him the inheritance in the kingdom, didn't he? So God knows what we're going to do even before we do it, guys. He gives us self-will, but not free will. That's not a thing. And that's what's hard for somebody who doesn't believe. They're like, no, I'm turning left. I'm turning right. Okay, sure. Whatever you think. Whatever you think, man. But it's settling. And it is a blessing to come to these truths. And not too many people, even if they hear it, they don't want it because they want control of their life. They want that freedom, that free will to think that God is not in control. But I teach on the orge. I've taught on that, where he puts some of these things on our hearts, like, jealousy and rage and indignation and all these things as a test to see if we'll respond, see how our flesh will respond. So it's always going to be tribulation. Remember the Apostle Paul, after they finally caught up with him, who was a mass murderer and a Pharisee. Remember, if God can rebuke the Apostle Paul, come on, guys, he was a mass murderer. And not only that, he murdered Christians for a living. Remember, he said that. He told us what he had done as a Pharisee, and he wore the garb. He had to get up. Remember, to get into the churches, they go in there and preach the gospel because God rebuked his heart. So if God, remember on the road to Damascus, if God can rebuke the Apostle Paul's heart and turn him to the gospel, then I don't doubt anything that our Father can do. It doesn't matter who we are. He hung out with a prostitute, a tax collector, and he got physical over taxes, didn't he? So God calls who he chooses. He says that if I didn't call out to their hearts, remember, not one of them would. So it's such a blessing to come to predestination. It's such a blessing to come to this ministry. Cool. Well, no worries. I'm not going to stay on here too much longer. I will probably go live again for the end of the night. What a blessing, what you said earlier. I need to remember that. I need to remind myself that there are people that come to this ministry. They don't come for the animation of me and all the nonsense and the crybaby sometimes when life is tough. They come here for the message, and they come here for the world. They don't come here for me. So thank you so much for reminding me that, Sequoia. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support. Your comment was just, it's edifying. And that's what drives me here. Keeps me going, man. If I can just get my bills paid again this month, I'm going to just keep doing this and go over and over until what I've always done. That's how I've come to these truth, guys, to figure it out, because I was self-employed. Get the bills paid first. Like my dad taught me, get the homework done first, get the chores first, go play all night long. I don't care what time you come home. I didn't have to come home when the lights went on because I already had my chores done. I already had my homework done. And I worked hard, and then I went and played harder than everybody else. And people didn't understand how my father was so strict, but yet we got to stay out so late. Well, because we had done what we were supposed to do first. So that's what I love to do, guys, is to get the things done in life, the finance, stupid stuff, and then get to studying. I've done that for 3 decades plus, guys. Now, you ask my son, he's never seen me do anything else but that. So, and he's 25 years old. So, yeah, I'm not religious either, Crypto. You know that I'm not religious at all. I don't do religion. I don't do religion. I don't. He don't dwell in houses made by hands. He just doesn't, guys. He dwells within us. Remember what the Apostle Paul said, that we have an outer man. We have an outer man, and that is the flesh, and we continue to fight that flesh. He said, I just can't stop it just doesn't want to stop sinning, right? And then we have that inner man, and that is Christ inside of us. He is blameless. He cannot sin. And if we listen to that voice, that still voice, that Christ in us, and if we cut off that flesh, that he will grow inside of us, and that it's a process that takes time. It doesn't happen like repentance, like baptism, like salvation. It's a process. We must endure to the end to be saved. He tells us that. If we want to be picked up, the word is redemption, and he tells us, look up. That's why I keep telling you to look up for your redemption, the one who paid that bride price in blood, the contract that he paid for the ones he chose, that one stop, that one time from the foundation. He didn't buy anybody after that. You got to remember that happened before any of this was written. You already know who he chose. I also remember he said through the Apostle Paul again. You talk a lot about the Apostle Paul, Tracy. Well, yeah, I do. The Apostle Paul wrote a lot of books in Scripture, okay? And if we didn't have Paul, because a lot of people have some issues with Paul, think about how many books would be taken out of Scripture. So he says, I also did foreknow. I had foreknowledge, the Greek word prognosko, meaning to have foreknowledge of. I also did foreknow for the ones I so loved Jacob and hated Esau before either one were ever born or done anything on this earth. I knew you before you were in the womb in the book of Jeremiah. He says, I set you aside as my prophet. Hallelujah. Right? So he knows. I also did foreknow who I did predestine, the ones that I chose, that I pulled from their darkness of sin. They were born in the corrupt dust. That is the channel name, predestined for light. And that's what that it means, is that he pulls who he chooses from that darkness of sin, of the corrupt dust that we were born in, to predetermine. That is to be prisoned. And prison is the division of darkness at day and night, dark and light. So he pulls who he chooses from the darkness into the horizon. I call it predestined for light because if I called it predestined for the horizon, I don't think people would quite understand what it meant. We call it the light, but that's where the light came from when the sun came up, from the horizo, from the horizon. That's why he said, I am the horizo. I am the hados. I am the way. I am the aletheia. And I am the horizo, the way, the truth, and the light. And you ain't going to hear that in no stinking church. Okay, guys? They don't. It's just not in them. It's just not in them. Cool. No problem there. I'll just keep calling you Sequoia. You feel whatever anonymity you need in here, and just all I ask you is just be you. Please be what God tells you to be. Don't be an actor. Everybody I know, if they seems like an actor, they're putting on a front. They got makeup on, or it's vanity. It's vain. It's not. It's a big act. So it's so nice to come in here and get a breath of fresh air of some people who are actually hovering in that narrow way. Remember Hados, he said, I am the way, to hover, right? To be in that same narrow way, right? I also did foreknow who I did predestine, to conform, to hover, to be in the Hados, to be in that same narrow way. I also did foreknow who I did predestine, to conform to the image of Christ. Beautiful, guys, right? Remember? Tribulation, the Apostle Paul, they stoned him, finally caught up with him, threw him off the cliff, didn't break his neck, so they threw rocks down and finally threw big old boulders like cantaloupe size, bowling ball size rocks. That's the stoning, guys. A stoning in history was not pick up little rocks and throw them at you. They take you to the highest precipice, the highest point in the county or the land. If it was a building, if it was, a cliff, they throw you off. That was a stoning. I recommend you research what stonings were at the time, because this is what they did to the Apostle Paul. Cool. So remember how it works. Nice. So then, Sonia, when how all that my faith gets challenged every day, crypto. Faith gets challenged every day as far as just the test of my faith because of my solitary confinement that he puts me in. And people steal from me. Just the other day, I went into town and I dropped my wallet and somebody immediately picked it up and they went and spent all my money on my credit cards and drained me to zero. All my land payment money, all everything. I didn't even have any money this month. I was so stressed out and finally got something paid off and that work I did. And I went into town and they picked up my wallet and started spending money near immediately. Went to a U.S. bank, tried to figure out how much money was in there, and somehow figured out how to drain every bit of my credit card. all my Cash App. And so I didn't even have money to get dog food. I had to borrow, because that's why I went into town, was I had enough money for dog food, a burrito, my land payment money, my insurance money for the vehicle that I carry, and my phone bill. And I lost it all. So that is testing, you know, because why? You know, why? I don't understand, and I don't question. It's just what God wants. And so I actually that day was more concerned the guy who I had to watch my credit card money on my Cash App. I couldn't lock the card. I had to just let him drain the money. So eventually the police could catch up with them, and they were able to get my credit card back. But I had to cancel that. All the money was spent on it. Or land payment money, it's gone. My telephone, actually my phone bill is due today. And because Dispersing Weight gave me a $50 PayPal, I'm able to keep this channel going. So this live stream over this next month, you should thank Dispersing Weight. My brother over there at Grace and Truth gave me $50 PayPal. It's actually kind of ironic. He was trying to send me another $50 PayPal earlier for nearly 2 or 3 weeks, and he struggled to do that. It all would have gotten taken anyways. So, but I had to keep watching this guy spend my money on the Cash App, because that's how the police were able to eventually, I don't even know how it happened, guys, because when they got a description of the last place that he had spent, it was like at Wilco. I don't know what he bought. He spent a bunch of money there. The cops were getting a description of him from the lady, and he said, hold on a second. He said, I want to just hold on 1 second. He said, my officer has somebody pulled over. Because he was just in the area, and he said, I was on the phone when I called. And he said, okay, well, I'm right over by that. So we went there to get the description of whoever was spending my money on the cameras. And he said, just a couple minutes later, because he was just there, he got there, and he was there taking the description. He told me to hold on. And sure enough, they had that guy pulled over. I haven't even given a full description of the guy. They didn't even, and he was pulled over. So by the glory of God, I got my credit cards back, but I haven't even disputed the charges, yet, because I have to cancel it. And some of them, they're holding some of this stuff for evidence. So I can't dispute charges until the card goes through. It's just a nightmare, guys. So yeah, I have my battles of my faith. I don't even have any money. I don't make any income. I don't have a dime extra to my name, and all the Most High has just stripped me back. I mean, I have nearly $15,000-$20,000 worth in estate that I bought that's sitting miles away from me, and I can't go get it. But I paid for it. Legally, it is mine, but I can't. I've tried for years now to try to get the local law enforcement involved. I don't. So I constantly get tested, just so you know. Because right now, I don't even know how I'm going to pay my bills this month. I can't sell anything after that water overlay video that I put out. Nothing is sold. I don't even get any hits on anything anymore. Is this item available on the Facebook? And I've made my living for 20 years this way. So I've had some, side work and stuff. But so, yeah, I'm getting tested today. I have no idea. I don't know what to do. I mean, actually, I think I'm going to put my generator up for sale. I don't know what else to do. So I'm going to be forced to put my Honda generator up, and hopefully that'll catch somebody's attention. I thought the Peter Wright anvil, those are really hard to find. 144-pound Peter Wright anvil is something that you don't come across very often. And I'm offering it for pennies on the dollar. I mean, literally way under just a cheap Harbor Freight anvil cost. I can't even sell it for that. So I'm being shut down electronically. So I don't know. My faith is being tested right now as we speak. And instead of, do I pay for this channel? No, I don't pay for the channel. It's a YouTube channel. So maybe when I get up to 4,000 hours on this channel, view hours, they'll be able to monetize the channel, and people can give me a super chat. But I have a predestined for like Cash App that I've been able to get donations through in the past. So yeah, what a test, you know. Right now I got stripped back and I thought I had all the money to pay it, but now I got nothing. And I have 12 days to figure out how to come up with $750. So that's what I'm going to list my generator for, and hope for the best and hope it sells. That's the last thing I need to do is sell my generator. I understand, but crypto, I'm trying to, you know, I already called the bank. I've canceled the card, and it's, you know, it's been 3 or 4 days. I'm still trying to unstew from that. You know, I don't know what, I don't know. So, but I don't have income, so I don't have Social Security. Even though I fought for 7 years, I don't have disability. I don't get veterans benefits. I have zero income. My only income right now is, yeah, I'm good spiritually. I'm fine. I got everything I need. Just financially, I'm in ruins. You know, I don't have a vehicle. I don't have a 4-wheel drive. My truck caught on. I bought a 4-wheel drive. The next day, it caught on fire. Transmission went out on the other. You know, it's a constant struggle of being. People steal from me and steal everything I have all the time, or steal what I need, or yeah, drain both of my credit card and my CashApp card to zero. Ouch. When I just thought I was going to get by this month, I was like, I was going to make it this month and get to the spring and be able to start to sell some of these products that I have that are more springtime, line trimmers, things that I've already bought and spent money on and fixed up so that I can sell come springtime. I have to do things like this. I buy wood stoves in the summer and fix them up, and buy air conditioners in the winter. And I have a way of doing things to survive, guys. I have to do this because I don't have income. So this is the way I make. This is the way I make my living, is buying. I'm a horse trader. I really don't have a lot of dollars. So it is what it is, you know. I just went over to go see my son, told him I don't have any money to go over there, son, because he wanted me to have that little Subaru Forester. I'm like, yeah, it's cool because it's all-wheel drive, but I need a truck, son. You know, I can't haul anything in a little car. So, but anyways, that ended up costing me money. And I'm glad that I had that, because that's actually the money I said I paid my insurance the other day when dispersing weight. That wasn't it. That was the gas money that I had to get home after I told my son, I don't have the money to come over there, man. But I got the car back over here. And thank you again for dispersing weight, because they paid for the gas for me to get back over there. Cool. I think it's Tracy Werner at Lane County Choppers. If you want to look, and guys, I'm not sitting here trying to grift you. I'm just trying to ask. So this is how my faith is tested. My faith is tested because for 10 years, and now for the last couple of years, I've tried to invite people to come out to my property, guys, and live here for free. Free. I have like 5 cabins I'm building out here. And I wanted people to live in these cabins and come live off the grid with me. I live off the grid. I make all my own power. I'm invested in other things, guys. I'm invested in cabins for people that never came. I'm invested in I've got so much time for other people instead of taking care of myself. You know, I have a lot of things right now for other people. I've got years of food for other people. I've got a lot of money in. You know what I'm saying? Well, Nineveh, to me, I believe, is Babylon. It's the United States of America and all the different tentacles that it reaches out with, you know, the NATO and the United Nations and the 800 military bases around the world and 180 countries or something. So I believe that is that modern was destroyed. So will America as we know it. So hopefully I won't have to make it too much longer, guys, and I won't even have to worry about my land payments like that, so to speak. But whatever, I'm a regular Joe. I keep car insurance on my vehicle just in case I hit you. You know, I don't carry insurance on myself. I don't have that kind of insurance. I have to have a phone so I can live stream, you know, otherwise it wouldn't be on here. And I don't have any other bills other than land payment bills. So, again, that's Lane, Lane, County Choppers. I think you might look for that. You'll see it says Tracy Warner. I believe I got that straightened out because Dispersing Weight was finally able to send me that Cash App. And again, I was glad, guys. Man, I would have gotten that $50 that he would have gave me would have gotten taken by that guy. You know, and again, that day I was more concerned. He had 2 kids with him in the car. And, oh man, Ukraine. Oh gosh. Lane, Lane, Tracy Warner, Werner with an E at Lane, like changing lane, county choppers. Yeah, lane county choppers at gmail.com. I think that's, it shows up. And if not, don't worry about it. I mean, appreciate, you know, every penny helps though, guys, because actually Dispersing Weight gave me $50. I was like, oh, cool. I got some money to go towards. But then the phone thing came up today. Hey, your Verizon plan is due today. I'm like, well, cool. Because Dispersing Weight on his message, he put, the Lord will provide, which was awesome. And he did. So through Dispersing Weight and my brother over there, all month long, you're going to have to hear me because Dispersing Weight covered the $50 Verizon phone bill out here so that we can continue to live stream. So much support to Dispersing Weight, a brother over there at Grace and Truth. So thank you for joining us from the Ukraine. Man, gosh, that country is just, oh my gosh, my heart hurts for that country right now. You guys, have you seen that? They're going in Ukraine and they're driving down the streets, and anybody that's in the age that's, you can't even leave the nation of Ukraine. If you're between the age of 18 and 60 years old, Zelensky has put a stop, and you cannot leave the country. And they're taking you and they're putting you and giving you 2 days. You guys, I'm a military veteran. I've been through basic and advanced training. I'm a soldier. 2 days training, guys. They've shortened military basic training down now to, I think, 8 weeks. And then you do advanced training. There's been some changes in the military since I've been in. But anyways, 2 days. And you're out in the meat grinder on the front line. I can't stand what's been going on. I've been watching Ukraine since 2014, Laos, since the Donetsk agreement. Let's not forget, this stems way back, way back, further than that too. So I've been watching your country with a eagle eye. Okay, I have not forgotten what the United States has come in and done to that country, and I understand. Please do not be biased. I understand why Putin is in that country and what they're doing. So I do understand the culture, the history, and I have not forgotten what the Northern nation had done all those years ago that didn't seem to get mentioned in the Mr. Tucker interview, did it? All this, we have this relationship, we have this, yeah, right. Never forget what was done to that nation by the Northern nation. But again, yeah, I watch all these nations, guys. It's not just this American nation that I watch. I watch, yeah. Watch everything all the time. All the time. You know Ukrainian history? Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do. I don't know every country's history, but I know a lot about a lot of countries' histories, guys, because it's important to me that you're just reading a history book and you're really only getting one side of history. History is written by the victor. The victor gets the spoils. The loser doesn't get to write history. Only the victor gets to write history. So you're really getting a jaded side. So I really look deeper into history than most people ever take the time to do. I tell people you have the right side of history, and that's generally going to be your winner. You know, they say this is what happened, you know, and I'm telling you, that's not what happened. 98% of the time, that's not what happened. You have the left side of history. That's going to be your loser, obviously, right? So you got the right side of history, you got the left side of history, but then you got reality that falls somewhere in between. If you want to understand history, you need to be able to read between the lines, you know, so to speak. So I've studied the Ukrainian history in detail, and because obviously, you know, what is going on right now is not something that is, it's deeply rooted, brothers and sisters. You got to remember, after the fall of the wall in Berlin Wall, you know, tear down that wall, Mr. Gorbachev. You know, obviously there was a changing of the borders, and that's when the Ukrainian nation was given their independence. All, you know, Paul, a lot. Look what happened. You know, but it stems even further back than that. You know, there's a lot of these things that that people are missing. You know, they're missing. Like, they just talk about, you know, I don't need to go that far back. I'm not trying to be Putin and give you a whole what's Trump's hypocrisy? He was just everything he stands for. Calls himself a Christian, tells us he's the chosen one, says he's a Christian. In regards to the border, I'm going to build the greatest wall ever, and then he's down at that same border that he never built. How about the fact that Mr. Obama, number 44, had a $500 million bill on the books for the wall, and it passed it. And Mr. Trump had access to that $500 million, but he still solicited the American public, took from, you know, Social Security, different organizations like that, to take another $500 million. Yeah. 500 million over one, yep, $1 billion, and he never built the wall, ever. Didn't do anything. He shored up what was there, but he didn't add no wall. So he's a sham, and he's a liar, and he's hypocrisy, and he was going to lock Hillary up, and he never did nothing. He never did anything he said he was going to do, just like every other poly, meaning many, tick, meaning bloodsucker, Titian, ticks, poly, ticks, many bloodsuckers. He's just like the rest of them. You know, so what a set of gonads to go down to the wall that he never built, and to have any kind of, I mean, what hypocrisy. You didn't build the wall, and you have the Weibos to go down there to Eagle Pass. Ah, man, I wish I had somebody, I wish I had that 4-wheel drive down there, because I'd have been protesting him loudly, like I always do. I have a very loud voice when I want to have a voice. I'm a veteran. I know how to call out cadence. And so I would have been protesting, calling him the hypocrisy, the hypocrite. What happened to that greatest wall ever, Mr. Trump? What happened to locking up Hillary? What happened to auditing the Fed? How come you said that she was, you know, she was all this bad person? You made all this slander against her, and then she sat 3 bodies away from you at, you know, your inaugural dinner, Mr. Trump. You know, why do you decorate your house with the sun god, with the bringer of the disease and the cure of the disease, Mithra, Apollo, Satan, Nimrod? Yeah, your house is decorated with Satan, Trump. Why do you say that you're a Christian and you decorate your house with Satan, you hypocrite? Why did Nimrod have a 58-story Babylonian tower, and you happen to live in a 58-story tower, you hypocrite? Why is 666 the number of man, right? And you live on the 66th floor tower of a 58-story penthouse building. Mr. Trump, I blame you for knocking down 3 steel buildings with 2 airplanes, because I'll never forget the 11 and the 9, the dancing ones, and that you came out and immediately said, you were there, Mr. Trump. You were there, Mr. Warp Speed. You were there. I remember you said, now I have the tallest building in the world. I'll never forget, Mr. Trump, when you interviewed and you said, oh, what do you mean, rich man? When they asked you about being rich and wealthy, and you played stupid with the interview, and and then you quoted the scripture where it said it'd be easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man through the gates of heaven. And you said, oh, well, no worries. I'm inventing a microscopic line of camels, and I'm sparing no expense, you blasphemous man. And your wife has got an apple and a cucumber. Yeah, and you went to the island, the EpiPen Island, with Mr. Biden. Oh, Biden. Yes, 666 is the number of man, not the number of the beast. Everybody gets that wrong in them.
Walk down the street, ask 99 people will tell you it's the number of the beast. It's the number of men, not the number of the beast. So people really pervert things, and time translations can really, ask 95% of the priests, pastors, deacons, reverends, chaplains in the world if if Lot's wife was turned to a pillar of salt, and they'll tell you yes. Say, well, like where there was sodium involved, she was turned to salt, and they'll say yes. And there was no salt involved. And those are the priests and pastors and the deacons of the reverends. It's not in them. The aletheia, the truth, that was an idiom. That meant to succumb to your death. So the book is full of parables. It's nobody deciphers. That's why you have what is called a lexicon. You can define it, and there's concordance. So you can take and pull each word out individually and study it and find out its gender, neuter, feminine, male. These things have different, meanings when you start studying the phonics in the original text, and you can cipher whether these things are, as it says in your Gideon, motel Christian lollipop Bible, it says that he gave his power in the book of Revelation. He gave his power and his authority to the beast. But you'd be able to debunk and decipher that if you went back to the gender, and you'd see that it's neither male or feminine gender. That's right. It's not male or feminine gender. It's neuter gender, meaning it's an it. It's a system. It's a chair. It's a tree. It's a log. It's an it, because it says its power and its authority in the original text that I read. It doesn't say his. Yours probably says his power and his authority, but you probably don't read the canonized interlinear Textus Receptus. You need to go back to the original text it was written in. You need to go dive to the canonized version. There's a reason why texts were canonized and certain texts were not. So I suggest that all of us study that way, and then you'll unlearn a lot of the things, such as 666 is the number of the beast, because you can go find the gender on it to see if it's an it, if it's neuter, if it has neuter gender means it has no gender, meaning it's a piece of wood on the wall, right? It's a system. It's an it. So there you go. See right there. So one Bible, one scripture to the next isn't going to have the same text. I guarantee your scripture, if it's not an interlinear, says it gave his power and his authority to the beast, and that's going to lead you to believe that it's a man. Well, in this case, that's a different beast, isn't it? There are more than one beast in Scripture, brothers and sisters. I recommend you start studying, because it can be a bit confusing if you just read it for face value, okay? Yeah, but not only that, never forget, Sequoia, that, he voted in, first he solicited the American public for $2.2 trillion to create that greatest jab ever. He is the king of the jab. He takes claim for it. We know that's what ended up being the thing that unalived people. It wasn't the beer bug that got people. It was the jab, and he continues to push it. And his buddy Biden put the bite in. He created it, the hollow needle, the snake bite, and then he's the one who put the bite in, right? It just continued on with the same. They're two peas to the same pod. Uncle Creepy, never forget. Why is Trump a hypocrite? Because he ran cover for Creepy Joe and told everybody he was sleepy. Never forget that. I'm going to be one of the few people in history that goes down remembering that and not letting him slide for that. What's creepy is decorating your house with Satan and then calling yourself a Christian. That's awful creepy to me. But he's creepy Biden, right? Stein, Biden. And Mr. Trump ran cover for him, didn't he? Sleepy, 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 sleepy. He pounded that in your brain that you forgot that he was creepy, didn't you? Not a word said about it. That's the hypocrisy. And I can't wait for this nation to be destroyed with fire. I really do. I hope it's sooner than later, because you can't select, which is not an NM. Trump's not going to be the president in 2024. Okay. If you hadn't figured it out in America, You become a union when you become married. Just like Hillary can't run for president and win because Mr. Cigar Smoking Monica, whatever, puffing. Remember that whole debacle, in America. I'm a prior police officer. I'm a prior veteran. I've studied law. I don't have a degree in law, but I have been a law enforcement officer. I've been in the military and outside the military. So if that counts, these law enforcement officers don't even, they don't even know what laws they're enforcing. But anyways, again, this Mr. Trump and his hypocrisy, never forget, he's going to bring the National Guard to your door to administer that jab, that he loves the police, he loves law enforcement, but yet he wants to take your pew-pews away because he is although he has an orange face, never forget, he's the hypocrisy, Janus, two-faced joker who said, no, actually bump stops, yeah, can't have that. And I believe in taking your pew-pews first and prosecuting you later. Yes, the red flag laws. He's the king of that as well. He supports all that. Yeah, if you're a veteran like myself and you've got a collection of Second Amendment items and you're cleaning them in your garage and your neighbor complains, that means they can come take your Second Amendment items and prosecute and take them from you and prosecute you later. And Donald, Mr. McNugget, McTrumpet supports that. So never forget that Mr. Trump can't be your pretendant because he's already run for president and won twice. 81 million people did not vote for Mr. Bidenstein. He never left his basement, and you must not be very good at math there, world. This man, I don't support neither of them. They're both clowns and they're both actors, and they love to do the hokey pokey and turn themselves around, and that's what it's all about. They both have been to the EpiPen Island boys. Yes, they are. But Mr. Trump is currently still your pretendant. Mr. Bidenstein is just acting like he's the pretendant. Have you never watched all the inaugurations? No, you haven't. I suggest you do. That would tell you who the current pretendant is. Mr. Trump is standing down. He is still the current pretendant. You don't inaugurate an incoming president with 4 cannon salute. That is a wreath ceremony. And that's exactly what happened with Mr. Bidenstein. So sorry, no Trump 2024. It's not a possibility. Yes, did you hear what I said? When 2 become 1, you become a union in this country. 2 become 1. Your property. When you become married, that's why Hillary cannot be the pretendant. And that's why I said I knew that Mr. Trump was going to win, even though look at what the numbers said. That's not what happened, huh? I already knew what was going to happen because she can't be the pretendant. That's why they won't run her anymore. I told these people, I have contact in ways with these people, guys. They have been watching me. The government has been watching me for decades. They're very aware of what I'm doing. So I've made it very clear publicly that Hillary cannot be the pretendant because she cannot run. Neither can Manchelle. So get that out of your head. She cannot run for pretendant. And if they run her, she can't be. Because Mr. Obama already had 2 tours. So they never inaugurated Mr. Bidenstein. You're never going to, we say obviously Trump is going to win. Then obviously you're not listening to me, NM. He cannot be the president in 2024. He is still currently the president. And he's such a piece of crap that he won't even announce that. Did you hear what I said? I encourage you to go look at every inauguration. And I know this because I was an MP. I worked garrison as well. Raise the flag, ceremonies. The MPs are always there at all these ceremonies. Inaugurations. A 5 cannon salute is something that is a very rare thing done. It's done for incoming dignitaries. It's not used very often, and it's used during inaugurations. I encourage you to look at the inauguration in 2016 of Mr. Warp Speed. And you're going to see that there was 5 cannons. 5. They shoot off 4 at a 3-second interval. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. correct? If one doesn't misfires, that's what that fifth one is for. They do not shoot off all 5. They shoot 4 at a 3-second interval. That's what happened when Mr. Trump was inaugurated in 2016. When Mr. Bidenstein took office, there was only 4, and they were shot 3 at a 10-second interval. That's a re-ceremony. And half the procession had their back turned to the incoming commander-in-chief. And if you're the commander-in-chief of the military, you do not disrespect them. You'll be Article 15. And that is a disciplinary action taken under the Uniform Code of Military Justice for being insubordinate to an officer as an enlisted. So and any officer, the commander-in-chief is the highest above all, even the 5-star generals. He is the commander of all the militaries. So when the incoming commander-in-chief comes and passes, you snap to attention. Yeah, that's a salute. That's how you salute. Not this, what all the weird people salute. It's a bunch of ate-up soldiers in the military, I take. You snap to attention, and when that procession passes, you drop that attention. They had their back turned to Biden. So he's not the president. They're playing scripture. I encourage you to read scripture about Joseph and the king. They're doing this by what it says in the Bible, guys. They're doing this by what it says in the scripture. I don't know anybody else that's covered that. I've already asked you guys to look into this. Yeah, this is passionate. This pisses me off. But I swear I'm the only one on the earth right now that's discovered that he is standing down, just like it says in scripture that the king, he stands down and the Joseph takes over. This is part of scripture that they're doing. But Donald Trump, McNugget, Operation I love Satan and decorate my house, and with that and call myself a Christian, Miss Hypocrisy, I'm going to lock her up, put her in prison, and have her 3 bodies away from me at my inaugural dinner, right? The biggest hypocrite. I'm going to build the greatest wall ever and then solicit the American public for another 500 million when there was already 500 million by the prior president that came in. The dude is a hypocrite, the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen in my life. I don't think there's a bigger hypocrite right now on the planet. There's not a bigger socialist. Everybody's worried about Bernie Sanders. Ha! $8.8 trillion. He spent more money than Obama. Oh, well, Obama, he spent 10 and 8, but Mr. Trump spent 8.8 and 4, more money than Mr. Obama. So stop blaming this inflation on Bidenstein. You're only getting to see the inflation that happened when Mr. Trump took office. No. When Mr. O'Biden took office. No. When Mr. Obama, he more than doubled the national debt. If I took and gave you $1 million every day, it would take me 360,000 years to pay you off. You are only seeing the inflation from Mr. 44, Mr. Barry, born in Kenya, not Hawaii. Beast out of the sea. They play with you guys. So, Mr. Trump is currently the pretendant. And he's standing down. He's that big of a piece of crap. At least Obama, he won the Nobel piece of crap prize winner. He was one of those, but Mr. Trump, he's still the pretendant and he's standing down. So he cannot be the pretendant in 2024. I hate to break it to you, all you Trumpsters. Yes, Obama was born in Kenya. You got a lot to absolutely go to Kenya. It says, welcome to the birthplace of Barack Obama, President Barack Obama. He was born in Kenya, not in Hawaii. They debunked his whole birth certificate. It didn't even have the right name of his ethnic. They didn't even use the right term in his birth certificate from Hawaii. You guys, I've lived in Hawaii. You could marry somebody in Hawaii. Just there's a lot of things in Hawaii that they can get away with. That's why they did that. How do I know that? I told you, I know more about Barry Soetoro than he wrote books. He wrote a book about his life. His uncle, Barack, his dad, his dad is not his dad,
he obviously, is not what he's saying, but in his book, he don't hide none of that. There's a lot of things that the general public doesn't, but everybody knows that Barry is from Kenya. He attended college as the name Barry. He was born in Kenya. He wasn't born Barack Obama. That is his uncle's name. Barack Obama means I saw lightning fall from heaven in Hebrew. The dude's a blasphemous abomination of desolation is what he is. Like it says in the book of Daniel. Remember, he went to the holy place and turned his back. So he's just playing a script. He's a very powerful man, though, obviously. Some believe he's a pharaoh. But anyways, Barack Obama is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is Joe Biden. They're all the same. Same wings to the same dragon, same cheeks to the same hole. So they're all on the same team. You are the swamp. Flushing Meadows, hate to break it to you. Queens, New York, look where the guy who was born. They're all in on the same team. So, but sorry, Mr. 2045 can't be the president in 2024 because he's already run for 2 terms. So unless he becomes some kind of dictator, he's not eligible to be the president in 2024. So this whole running for president thing is a scam. There's another hypocrisy. He's a scam artist. That's why he's trying to sell you tennis shoes and bobbleheads. Never forget how many millions of dollars he made for Hillary for prison. Imagine how much money went in his account for that. I'd never trade my eternal salvation, but I would, as a soldier of God, I would consider trading this life for his, because the dude is the biggest blasphemer I've ever seen on this planet, and he's involved, and I blame him for knocking down 3 steel buildings with 2 airplanes. The anti is the 8 is the 7th king. Look into it, LM. This is one of my specialties. This is what he's revealing. That's what Trump is revealing. That's what his whole house is decorated with. It 88. The Antichrist locked up in the pit. That's what Mr. 88 is signaling. HH. H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. Right? 88. 88. HH is the Antichrist. Somebody we've seen in our lifetime. They have nothing. They're idiotas. Sorry. They're foolish. They have no idea. I tactfully acquired 50 pounds of scrap metal today, but the dude only gave me half of what it was worth. What do you mean? Tactically stolen. We talk about their. So, anyways, you guys, these tennis shoes, I've not seen any other YouTuber, any other TikToker, or anybody else be able to decipher that these shoes that Donald McTrumpet is selling is the footstool sign, where he says that he'll be seated at the right hand of the Father, and he will stand up, and when he comes back, he will make his enemies his footstool. Remember, he said he will crush the heel of the serpent that was bruised by the serpent, correct? He will crush that head of the serpent, like we see Ophiuchus over Scorpius in the heavens, crushing the head of Scorpizzo, the false prophet. We already seen these signs in the heaven. So, what do you mean by tactically there, Cole? What did you tactically scrap? I have much props for people who scrap metal and do that. I mean, that's not an easy job to do if you're doing it legally and not going and ripping stuff out of abandoned buildings and off of the railways and stuff. There's plenty of people who have scrap metal out there that will, but you got to work hard to get it. It's not easy all the time ripping Scrapping's not an easy lifestyle, guys, but it's an honest living if you do it honestly. There's plenty of scrap out there. Metal prices are they're okay. They're not as high as they've ever been right now, but unfortunately, when scrap prices get real high, guys, people go start doing and thieving it. So, Cole, if you got it legally and he only gave you half, that sucks, man, because it's not easy to strip wire and strip apart, circuits and dryers and drums. I've scrapped things before. I understand it's not an easy. I repurpose everything, so I like to scrap stuff. Yeah, cool. It's a good, honest living. I really think it's being resourceful, and it's putting things back into use. And I love to repurpose everything. So scrappers and pickers are my kind of people, man. So, yeah. You guys seen the Operation Warp Speed logo with the Reiki symbol and the 777? You guys, this stuff is just so blatant and so obvious. I don't see how anybody can not see through Mr. Warp Speed there, but that's okay. People still marvel at the guy and revel at him. But he's representing the coming of the Antichrist. Okay. I normally don't give this up very easily, but I'll give it up to you guys. You guys are a good crowd here. We don't got a small group here, but that's okay. The seventh king will be revealed as the eighth king, guys. So it's somebody that we've had to see in our lifetimes. The Antichrist is not Donald Trump, okay? It's not King Charles. It's not, what are some of these other ones that people come up with? Some wild, I don't know where they come up with these. They don't do any research. So the seventh king will be revealed as the eighth king. So there's no guessing who the eighth king and who the Antichrist is. Unfortunately, what most people are going to fall for is going to believe that it's an actual man, when it's not an actual man, but the Antichrist spirit itself. We're under a spiritual doctrine, a spiritual law. It's a spiritual battle that we're under. And so the Antichrist will be revealed as AI. But it's somebody we've seen in our lifetime. So if you look at that and you look back at who the Antichrist is, all you have to do is figure out who the seventh king was. And the seventh king is locked up in the pit. So who have we seen in our lifetimes? Who was the seventh king? Who's responsible for more death? There's a lot of qualifications in Scripture where it talks about the revealing of the Antichrist and who it will be. I've given you hints already. But HH is 88, and HH is Heil, the guy that had the Charlie Chaplin mustache, that was messing with the same technology, looking for the master race. That is your seventh king, and will be revealed as the eighth king. That's what Mr. Trump has his house decorated with. The 14, the creed, the 14 word creed of the Svastis, right? That's who he was looking for in Tibet. That's who he went looking for, that master race. And this is where all this techie stuff comes from. Remember, he had the tech. It was given him to by the aliens. Same stuff, same game. Here we go again. So this time they're actually going to reveal his full, and again, think about it. They got Tupac walking across the stage, 3D dragons flying around stadiums. They can make anything in your eyeballs right now. Think about Mr. Starlink with his big Starlink show up there. Ronald Reagan with the Star Wars, the raising of the Jed, the thoracic vertebrae, the bull. You guys, come on. This is so littered with Mr. Trump. It's sickening. So I hope you're ready for lights out, because that's what I believe. That's how they're going to pull this event off, is they have to shut the lights out. So everybody has a big show above their head, so they can pull this event off. Get rid of these oil wars that we've involved in and bring us into this new tech age where humans really won't be necessary. They'll just give most people a universal basic income to shut up. And most people will just take it and live in their smart cities, 15-minute stupid millimeter bowls. Trump was never talking about building a wall you can see. I hope you understand that. And you're going to remember this if you're locked in one of those walls that I told you, Hotel California. You could check in, but you can never leave. You can check in, but you can never leave, because Mr. Trump was never talking about building the greatest wall ever with an actual physical wall you can see. He was talking about that tech that his uncle was messing with, Mr. Uncle Warp Speed. Remember, he was messing with millimeter waves. The same thing Mr. T was messing with. Not Mr. Trump, Mr. T, the one that, Musk, he has a car line called Tesla. That's the technology that Mr. T was messing with. Said I could build a dome. I could build a ray over this city where you don't need a military. And they did not want that, did they? Oh no, the Trumps were already invested heavily in copper and telephone poles. And we're in cahoots with Mr. Ford and oh yeah. Well, look at the tech, guys. They had a car that could go over 1,000 miles on a single charge in the 1800s. And this stinky Mr. Musk can't get his cars to go 500 miles and they're rusting. Ha ha. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I guarantee Mr. Trump and Mr. T and Mr. Musk, Mr. Musk and Mr. Trump love to do the hokey pokey. And they're island boys. Oh, yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. Mr. Musk, he stinks to high heaven. I cannot stand that guy. Yeah, get it, high heaven with their Starlink shooting up his phallic rockets and all his disgusting, filthy people's champion that he wore during the All Hallows Eve Samhain. He's already showed what side he's on. He's got a ticket on Air Force One. Don't you think he's on your side? Oh, I bet you think Mr. Trump's on your side too, huh? Flushing Meadows, Queens, New York. I hate to break it to you. You are the swamp. Yeah, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to give up and they're going to release all Tesla's technology. And so we won't need to go deal with any oil wars anymore. And they'll be able to do all their techie, world. And isn't it rather ironic that the FFA in 2023 released flying cars? We made it. We're here. Meet George Jetson, his dog Elroy, Jane, his wife, 3D printed food. Here we go. So, Vivek, oh man. So, obviously, guys, I have such a. I can't stand the man. There's nothing he does. I believe that Mr. Trump is responsible for dropping 3 buildings with 2 airplanes, to include building 7. Judgment. That's right. That's what I'm saying. That's what they're doing. They're fraudsters. They have stolen this technology from Mr. T and have been holding it since the 1800s and waiting to reveal it for after all these oil wars. Yeah, it's all scripted, LM. It's all nothing in a movie doesn't have purpose. From where the clock hand is, the little piece that's on the, like if this was a movie, each one of these things would have purpose, guys. They don't, even in a lot of these B-class movies, Hollywood is definitely it's a visual voodoo that they play with the masses and get people to, again, I was at the very first showing of Star Wars at the Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood, California. That's right. I saw the very first Star Wars, so it's been a big play on your eyes and your visual. That's why you went and grew up being schooled and being programmed. So you believe we went to the moon and you went along with the narrative and you were a good little sheep, right? And you were a good little tax slave and land of the sheep and home of the slaves, right? Tax slaves and the bad, just do what you're told, go along with the herd, right? Don't ask no questions. That's not what God wanted us to do, guys. He said, be not partakers of their unfruitful works of darkness. Expose them, brothers and sisters. And that's what I do. I can't help it. I cannot stop it, and I will not stop it until they throw me in the dirt. You understand? So I'm going to stand up 10-toe. I'd rather stand up 10-toe with a loud voice or passion in my voice than on my knees quiet as a slave. No way. No way you're going to get this man on his knees. I serve the Lord. I serve the Most High God. And if they can take and rip this flesh from me, just like every one of his apostles, they want to hang me upside down, cut my head off, rip my flesh from my body, shove me in a log, saw me, I don't, whatever they want to do. Just do whatever you got to do to martyr this flesh, because I don't need it. I'm eternal. I don't need this flesh. I will come back just like Mr. 88, Donald Trump, Mr. Time Traveler, 88 gigawatts, right? Flux capacitor, going back in time. Hello, Jesus Christ. Remember, that's what he said as soon as he came into that field and he hit the scarecrow. They're telling you what's coming, guys. Apologize. That's in the movie, guys. It's all, whoa, Tracy. Yeah. Remember when he went through, and it's all symbolism, guys. The whole movie Back to the Future is about Donald Trump. The first 3 seconds of the movie would take you 2 hours for me to explain to you. I'm going to end this stream, guys. You have some homework to do. You really got some homework to do. Please, if you want to relate to me, please go watch Casey. No. Both of those. Informed Christians. I encourage you to do this before you come back and see another one of my live streams if I'm not here today or later or whatever. Informed Christians. Informed Christians. Informed Christians. I've already said this. Daniel Vallis at Brook Cherith. Watch his decode on Back to the Future. And you will see that it takes him almost 2 hours to get for the first 3 seconds of the movie. There's so much in the first 3 seconds of the movie, and you ain't never seen none of it. You probably have never been given this gift. Go watch watch all his stuff, but go watch his Back to the Future. I'm telling you, the first 3 seconds, maybe not 2 hours, is nearly an hour and a half decode. It is just littered with symbology. Back to the Future is about Donald Trump. Biff is, watch it. He's not the only. Casey from Enter the Stars, like enter, exit, Enter the Stars. You should be watching him. He does a live every morning in the morning. You should have been watching him for the last 10 years. You should have watched him. Guys, he is the best decoder on the planet. And he's been covering Mr. Drump, who was like in Heavy Metal Magazine. And he's been talking about the World's Fair with the Trilon. Guys went, oh my gosh, please. Casey, this is some of the best YouTube channels I'm telling you guys, I've filtered through a lot of them. I've been on Enter the Stars. I've been worked with Casey before in the past. On this platform over 10 years ago, I've been on his show. I've been on the Alex Jones show multiple times, guys. I've been working at this truth for a long time, guys. This isn't my first rodeo. So if I give you something, it's because it's something that I've known for probably more than a decade. Okay. John MacArthur. Interesting. Let me think about some of his studies. Oh gosh, why is that not coming to me? Why is that name not coming to me? I mean, it is, but I'm not. What is this line of studies? How come that sounds? I think I'm starting to overload a little bit, guys. I need to get something to eat. I think that's what I was trying to wind down here. But John MacArthur. Why does that? My computer is jamming. It normally doesn't do that, guys. Normally, I've heard that. I'm trying to go back to that file back there. I've seen something recently, and somebody was talking about that, a blogger. Who was talking about? Was it one of the, I think it was one of the finance channels that I watch, was talking about something. I don't know. I can't seem to draw it. I can't seem to draw it to the top of my head. You'd have to remind me. Okay, guys, let's wrap this one up. 3 hours, 30 minutes. That's a good another stream. All glory to the Father for the strength to do this. I hope the message was, again, edifying. If you want to support my work, obviously I've been doing this for a long time, and I hope it's valuable. If you have the means monetarily to support this channel and support this ministry here, I'd appreciate it, but it's not required. I'll always come back in here, and this is a gift from him to me to you. It's not required, and hopefully I'll get through this next month, guys, and I won't even ever have to ask again for anybody anything on this channel, because I'm hoping that this will be my Jubilee year, and I put a lot of hard work in the last 49, 50 years. So 50 years is supposed to be your Jubilee year. So hopefully he'll stop making everybody rob me and take all my stuff. I'll get my finances back in square order, as I've not really struggled too much in the last 20 years. I've been very blessed. And not that I had an extra dime every month, but as long as I got by, I was happy. I have family that's millionaires and got plenty of money, and actors and all that. Again, you guys probably don't even know you watched my father grow up on television. Not only did he play Nimrod at school and stuff, but he was an actor on television. If you're as old as me or older, then you have seen my father on television. My family's all very wealthy and all that. Not my family, my blood, and they're in the movie industry and promotions and NASCAR and monster trucks, all that nonsense. It's not for me, guys. I like being here out in this dirty desert full of alkaline dust in my little tabernacle out here, preaching the gospel and doing what it is that I do. This is much more rewarding to me than any monetary value of anything that I could own or ever have. So hopefully I'll get through this struggle. That I wouldn't even be having this struggle, guys, if he didn't let somebody rob me. That was obviously something he had planned for me, to take every penny that I had this month, even though I swore I was going to get by, and actually I was struggling because I wasn't able to sell some, but I was like, yes, I got by because 3 months ago I did something, I worked for something and it finally paid off. So that's how my life works. Sometimes things don't always pay, but I don't have anything else right now to lean on, because the internet's just shut me down. So I appreciate your contributions. Please think Dispersing Weight the next time you see that gentleman from Grace and Truth, because all this next month, if they don't shut the power off, he paid this phone bill for me, my Verizon bill, and gave me that $50 CashApp. And so all month I'll be I'm not trying to honestly, money doesn't, I don't normally struggle, honestly, LM, with any finances. I'm a horse trader and normally I have plenty of assets, but I've been robbed 4 times in the last couple years. And in 5, 6 years ago, that rich family that I say, rich blood that I have, they came and took everything off this property that I had. I mean, everything. So I had to start from scratch. 5, 6 years ago, I had nothing again, so God constantly does this to me, whether it's blood or family or whatever. It's a constant cycle in my life. I just get everything taken from me. I can go back and just bore you to death with how many times this has happened to me. So it's a regular occurrence, but I pick my teeth back up, I put them in my head, and I drive on. So if I wasn't struggling electronically, I should have never put out that overlay video, and I wouldn't be having any issues probably at all right now. But I don't have any regrets for putting that video out. I had to streamline it, I had to tailor it, I had to take some stuff out of it, but the core of the video still got put out on the internet. And as of right now, all glory to the Father I'm the only one that's putting out this information. So I want him to use me as his vessel, and we're supposed to die a martyr's death. And so persecution, suffering, long suffering, tribulation. Remember the Apostle Paul finally stood up after they had stoned him to death. Nearly, he stood up and said, through much ellipsis we must go through to be with the Father, and so that word is tribulation in the Greek. The ellipsis means tribulation. And so we must go through these hard times, and suffering is long. So I hate finances. It's stupid because it's petty and money doesn't mean anything to me. So hopefully the Father will figure out a way for me. I'm going to sell my generator, guys. I'm going to put it up for online tomorrow. And hopefully it'll sell. So I don't want to, but I don't have any other choice. I tell myself constantly in life's not Burger King. You can't always have it your way. So tomorrow I will be putting my Honda generator up online, and if it'll sell, then I'll get the land payment paid, and I'll work trying to replace it at another time and date. So I'm glad it's not the middle. I mean, it snowed here today, guys. We got snow on the ground, but it's not the middle of winter here. It's getting closer to spring. So hopefully I'll figure out a way to do without. But I build with that. It's just a lot of things. It is what it is. I'm not going to be concerned about it. He'll pave a way. He'll pave a way, just like dispersing weight. When he sent me that $50 cash app, he said, this is God's gift. So thank you, dispersing weight, and thank you for being a man of God and part of the grace and truth, because yes, he did. He said God will provide, is what he said on the Cash App thing, or the PayPal when he sent it. So God's providing right now. I haven't paid the phone bill yet, but I believe here in any minute this phone's going to be shut off, and I'll have to get that Cash App and pay it. So wow, that's awesome. I only have $750 to go. So and I have 12 days to do it, and I have not a paycheck to come in and not a dime. But I'm going to try and maybe the generator, maybe that'll be the key. I was really hoping that anvil would sell, even though I didn't want to sell that. But I thought for sure that'd already be gone. But I don't know. It's going to take God, because I can't seem to sell anything on the internet. So yeah, no worries. Don't send me anything if you don't even think of sending me anything. If you are needing right now, don't you dare. You take care of yourself. You take care of your family. God will provide. Even if I don't pay my land payment this month, it'll be on this property, be the first time in 10 years that I haven't been able to pay it in 10 years. So I've been paying on the other one for 5, and the other land payment I have, it's it's part of 3 land payments that I pay on. So I pay on 45 acres, and I have the deed to 20. So please, we're all struggling. I mean, $18, gosh, you can't even, $30, you can't even go get 2 Big Mac meals for that, LM. Don't you dare think of sending me any money. You take care of yourself first, guys. I'm just putting it out there. If somebody has the means, okay? There are people who have done well with crypto, and maybe that God's blessed them. I got a lot of land, guys. I got 65 acres of land. I can't give money right now, but hey, I'm gonna put it out there. If anybody has been thinking about relocating over to the West Coast, because you've seen my overlay map, I got 4 or 5 cabins out here. These cabins I was building were supposed to be for you. Nobody came, but hey, maybe somebody will show up. See, if I just put my money in, instead of putting in the cabin all the time and effort, I have plenty of money right now. But whatever, no regrets too. You know what I'm saying? Good job. I've been looking for jobs since 23. Yeah, it's tough. This is not an easy job market you ought to be in right now. I hear you. Times are tight, for these employers. They've been taxed, by the COVID like crazy. Lost no, well, one time I did, because I lost my keys out here, and I borrowed a metal detector, and actually the lady, she said, you know what, you can have that metal detector. It's not a super nice one, but I haven't. My son's come out here and scoured the land time or two and found some beautiful specimen of arrowheads, though, out here. There's some really nice arrowheads, and he has found some just absolute gems on this property in the surrounding area out here. The lady up on the hill up there, man, she's got a case of just some of the most, and it's all, she says, anywhere I can see, because she's up here up on Table Rock, and she's just right in the area right there where I can see. She's never left this anywhere in her visual sight, and she's got this box, just gorgeous arrowheads. That the dirt gives it up here. It shifts and lands, and it rains, and sometimes that stuff will get up to the top, and sometimes it'll sink. So area that you walked over, you can go back to the area 2 years later, and something that might not have been there will be there, and something that was there can go down under the ground too. So this land is very strange out here, but it does give up some beautiful arrowheads, and there's a lot of the I forget what they call that, but like bowls and things that they use to well, they're artifacts, I guess is what they would be. There's a lot of artifacts in this valley. The oldest clothing on the planet, sandals, multiple pairs were found right here in this valley. They found an 18,000-year-old camel tooth in Riley. I mean, I could sneeze and blow my nose, and the wind could catch it and blow some of it over. It's that close. So they have already announced that this place that I live is the oldest place on the planet, at least in the northern hemisphere. Excuse me. They didn't say on the planet. I believe this to be the oldest place on the earth, and the entrance to hell, the porthole to where the pit will open up and the smoke will rise. I believe that's right behind me. I've scoured this earth over Google Earth, and I've looked for another entrance as large as this, and there's nothing that even compares in comparison to what I see behind where I live. It is the largest opening to the inner earth that I've ever seen on this earth. That's called Al-Qaeda, the entrance to earth. But check it out. Look up Silver Lake, look up Table Rock, look up behind me all the way from here to all the way over to Schmaltz, Oregon. It's a massive, massive, whatever it is, I believe it to be the entrance to hell. There's got to be somewhere, guys, on this earth. It's not on Pluto. It's not on Mars, not on Jupiter. It's somewhere on this earth. And visually, it will show up somewhere, and I think I have found it. So I'm not going anywhere. I want to see that smoke rise out of the pit. So I got front row tickets. If you want to go see front row tickets to the big show, I believe I'm in the right place. But I don't know. That sounds a little woo-woo to me there. But you believe what you want. I know what I see. I've done a little bit of overlay video on my TikTok video about, there's a picture of it. If you want to see it, it's kind of got a spinning and it does this. Go check it out. It's just a short, not very long. But yeah, this is a pretty unique place. I went to San Francisco, so many commercial buildings, leases, etc. Like 2 months and 6 hours, and San Francisco also the movie Dune to have a lot of symbolism. Oh wait, back to Black Sun. Yep, Dune. Yes, it did. Excellent. Yeah. So, they got rid of all the homeless. They went over there. The dragon ate the homeless in San Francisco, guys. Sorry, he did. The dragon ate the homeless there. There were so many of them. They just disappeared. Where'd they go? Remember when Peyton came here on the parade route? Gone. Fentanyl, needles, feces, motorhomes, thousands of motorhomes gone overnight. People gone overnight. Still nobody talks about it. Thanks for bringing that up, Yaya. Thanks for paying attention and giving me an update on what's going on out there. Thanks for boots on the ground. I appreciate that. Still not a word from any of those people. That's insane, guys. This has got to be some kind of alternate reality that we're living in right here. Yeah, not one person that disappeared that day has shown up since. No tow truck driver said, hey, I pulled this motorhome, that motorhome. Thousands of motorhomes on the streets, guys. Cars, all gone. All when Mr. Ping came here to America, remember? So I think the dragon ate them. Like the ones in Lahaina. Remember the kids over there, the 1,200 kids? It's getting pretty serious, guys. I hope you're taking this pretty seriously. I know it's getting a little woo-woo in here, but boo-boo, go back to Europe. Interesting. All right, guys. Much love. I'll see you guys on the next live stream. PayPal. Tracy Werner. I think it says that at Lane County Choppers. Yellowstone scene. Nice. I'm gonna have to look into that. Casey from Enter the Stars, Informed Christians. Those are two excellent channels that I recommend. And then Grace and Truth Ministries, guys. This is a mere channel of Grace and Truth. It's a pleasure been spending my almost 4 hours with you. I hope your time was valuable, or that you took some value from this. And even if it's not something monetarily, that the treasure is more valuable than anything that money can buy for you. So if I don't come up before the end of the night, I might just study, guys, and finish up the night by studying. I always have studying to do. I need to get back into the books. I was reading something in Matthew. I want to go back over some of the stuff. I've got a massive stuff. There's just so much time that before this, event happens. So be ready, guys. The lights could go out at any time. Okay. Be ready for that. I hope you have everything you need today, that if we never had contact with each other again, brothers and sisters, I'll see you on the other side. I love you guys. I please stay in that narrow way. Okay. Nobody knows the day or the hour. It's probably not going to happen tonight, but please be ready like it was. I hope you have everything you need. Okay. Go out and be a blessing to society by being prepared and being wise, so that you can feed another brother or sister, or give them a hand up. You might be that person with that hand reaching up, but wouldn't it be nice to be the person with that hand actually lifting that person up? I want to be that person, guys, for people. So that's what I'm working very hard at here out at the ranch. I have a 50-foot storm shelter to provide myself a place away from the weather. It's a plasma shelter. The sun's going to rock this earth pretty soon, guys. So be ready for that. 10/24/24 it's a stone's throw away, and it'll be here before you know it. That August or that April 8th date, I think it's signaling the foreshadowing of the coming of the destruction of this country. The sign of Jonah, the sign of Nineveh, the destruction of Nineveh in 40 days. This celestial eclipse is going over 4 Ninevehs, 7 Palestine, 7 Jerusalems. It's going the wrong way. It's not real, guys, but it is foreshadowing what I believe is to come. The devil comet, the daemonion, the distributor of fortunes. You can't get any more 7 years mark for judgment. The letter X, X is the 24th, the beginning, Alpha and the Omega, X being 24, the end, the Alpha and the Omega. I can't make it any clearer to you guys on what I believe I see is coming. So I believe the lights will go out. It's not going to be the end of the world. The internet will go down, but they'll both come back on, but it'll be a pulling away and taking away from you like a woman in labor. Come back and forth, and they'll pull it like a carrot out in front of you until that 10/24/24 date. But this will give them a chance to reveal their Antichrist. It's a foreshadowing of the coming of the Antichrist system. So your freedoms as you know it, they're already being diminished. Enjoy them while you can. Enjoy this time of calm, because the storm is nigh. It's already here. People are displaced by weather every single day on this earth, sometimes by the thousands and tens of thousands. So it is increasing in intensity. That's what I am preparing for. The sun and weather. And I want to make sure that my spiritual house is ready before all. Okay. So get that spiritual house ready. Fight not against flesh and blood, right? Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. May the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye be able to stand against the wiles of these lying demons. For we wrestle not against flesh, not even our own brothers and sisters. Don't wrestle against your brothers and sisters, okay? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, the rulers of the darkness of this world, spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore I say unto you, put on the whole armor of God, brothers and sisters. Take up that cross daily, please. The gospel. Remember the gospel. That's what's more important than anything that's in that book. Are you taking up your cross? Who shall ever come after me? Let them deny themselves. Idolatry, self. Latrio, to serve, ido, to see. Idol. Do not serve what you see. Don't serve your eyes. Serve the Father. Who shall ever come after me? Let them deny themselves. Take up their cross. You must be condemned. It's a spiritual condemnation. You must be hated by this world. He tells us, if you are loved by this world, you be hated by my Father. Take up your cross daily. That tells us that in the book of Matthew. Who shall ever be my disciple? He tells us that in the book of Luke. If you got to be his disciple, you're going to have to go by his commandments. You're going to have to know them, learn them, and then apply them to be that disciple. So who shall ever be my disciple? Who shall ever come after me? Let them deny themselves, take up their cross daily. It's a 7-day-a-week Jesus, brothers and sisters. It's a 7-day-a-week I am. It's an everyday Jesus. It's an everyday Sabbath. It's an on Christ daily. You too can be OCD like me. That's right, on Christ daily, because it's a daily cross. It's a daily suffering that we must go through. Do not deny him in public in front of your friends and your family, or he tells you he will deny you in front of you, the Father. So we must go out and be hated by this world, brothers and sisters. Just part of the suffering. He tells us we must endure to the end to be picked up. And he's the one who paid the bride price. From what part of the foundation of the world do you not understand? From the beginning, he made his price. But all those that would endure, that would agape him, that would love him, walk and follow in his commandments, he would pick them up and redeem them. He is our Redeemer. And we, whether it's 2 days later, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 decades, or 2 centuries plus later, that is still the word redemption. And he tells you to look up. So that's why I'm trying to get you to look up and pointing at these celestial markers. All right. Much blessings. Thank you guys. And again, for the support of this ministry, all the comments, you're continued coming back to this channel. There's thousands of other YouTube channels, thousands of other TikTok, internet channels, and you find yourself spending hours here. What a blessing, and what some edifying comments by the followers here, my brothers and sisters. Thank you again for your edifying me, making me feel like this is not in vain. It's not vanity. It's not worthless. You are a blessing to this channel, and you're a blessing to this ministry, and you're a blessing to me, because after I shut this off, it's just me and him. It goes back to me and these puppies, back to the isolation, back to the solitary confinement, back to the beating, back to the suffering. But it's, boy, I sure love coming in here so much and being with you guys. I'll see you guys on the next Predestined for Light Reconstruction production. All right. Always agape and phileo, brothers and sisters. Much phileo.